What is up, party people? Happy Cinco de Mayo. Later on in the show, Chad Benson Show players going to do their first radio play live. So be prepared to both laugh and probably be offended. Want everybody to know that? Be a part of it. You're going to love it. A lot of stuff to get to today. I saw that big concert over the weekend. Everybody had to go inside and hide because of the lightning. Because apparently God doesn't like Limp Bizkit.
Won't have to do that with the new stadium.
Won't have to do that with the new stadium.
Inside.
That's right. Even if God doesn't like Limp Bizkit, it's not going to get to him then. I wasn't expecting rain all weekend. I just want to say shame on everybody who didn't tell us that, Ken. It's a Ken thing.
Shame.
Shame. Shame.
Please don't cancel me.
I'm not going to. What do you think I am? I see that we're giving away $1,000 for everybody to leave. As they
$1,000 stipend, self-deport, and then if you want to come back, do it the right way.
So I'm just trying to go over this. So you self-deport. Are they buying a ticket as well?
Apparently, you self-deport. Then once you are self-deported, you get a $1,000 check.
For $1,000, I'll deport. I'll leave.
I'm just trying to figure out how this happens. Do we trust that you're going to get the $1,000? You know they're going to wait till somebody tries and goes, oh, dude, they got you.
Well, the way it, if you take it as the way the stories are written right now, it's like, okay, I'm here. All right, there's your check.
Okay, well, that's good. They're not handing you cash on the way out like a per diem.
Right. It doesn't say when exactly.
Okay.
You get the $1,000.
But you will be getting $1,000.
That's what they say.
Man. What other country pays you to leave? Right? Think about that. Pays you to leave. You gots to go. Get out of here. That is pretty amazing. Not like I think a lot of it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to. I think there's some people out. If you think you have a chance of really coming here, and I know we talked about this, like right around Christmas time, that in California, the Filipino community was seeing a lot of self-deportation. A lot of people who were nurses overstayed their visas, and they bounced because they know that if they get caught, they would have faced a, 5 or 10 year wait before they could even apply again. If you think you have a real good chance, yeah, you might self-deport. If you think you got no chance whatsoever, you're going to risk it. Because the thought is, if I stick around and I don't get caught in the next 3.5 years, Trump is going to be gone. Who's going to be next? Well, if it's a Democrat, well, you know what? I'll be all right. He'll reverse everything. Or she, most likely he, will reverse everything. And, we'll go from there. So, that's if it's that important to you. If you're single and you really think this is it and, you may want to come back in the future, I could see that. But if you got a family and stuff, you're going to stick it out as long as you can. And I don't see that changing. And I know yesterday we had a whole bunch of arrests, and the way they make it seem like it's cops kicked in the door and arrested people. That's not what happened, people. It's not. Doesn't mean that, some people here aren't upset. I saw Afton very upset about it. And they want to know, were the police involved? Who was involved in this? If you're here illegally, you have to expect at some point in time, somebody may knock on the door. And you may get pulled over by somebody who's not the police, but ICE or something like that. So it's very, very interesting indeed. A lot of stuff to get to today. We're going to talk about tariffs a little bit. We're going to talk a lot about Cinco de Mayo, which is today. Are you guys guacamoleing it up? I don't eat guacamole because it's gross.
Guacamole is heaven.
Monday's too depressing.
Is it?
Yeah.
Like it's just
nothing's depressing when you have guacamole. Nothing.
How is it too depressing?
I don't like Mondays. I especially don't like Mondays when it's 55 degrees and cloudy outside.
Yeah, that was kind of stupid. I know who ordered this. I mean, I like the cold when I'm at home chilling and I can take a nap.
Yeah.
I don't when I'm like, I drove the car here today. That sucked.
Oh, Brother Chad.
I know, right? I had to put pants on.
You drove 2.5 blocks.
I don't like pants, all right? I got in this business not to wear pants.
Exactly.
And yet here I am.
It rubs off all your leg hair.
It does. It's uncool is what it is. I wore pants. Was not happy about this. I went out this morning, took the dogs out. It was like 50 degrees outside. My dogs were not happy. My dogs are warm weather dogs. They're not happy about the rain and the cold. They wanted no part of that. Oh, my Lord. So, Ken, you and I did not do well during the Kentucky Derby. Just want to point that out.
Yeah, I don't think my horse won.
No, and if you guys don't know, this is what it sounded like on Saturday.
Journalism and sovereignty, nose to nose, down to the last 16th of a mile. Sovereignty has taken the lead. Journalism is second toward the inside. Baez is third, but it will be sovereignty to rule the Kentucky Derby.
And we gave that one to Bell.
What did I win? What did
You
I win?
won. Hugs from all of us. I know, right?
That's way to go, Brother Bilal.
I'm not Dan Mandis. I'll take him.
You will. So, yeah, I watched it at the end. It was so sloppy out there. That's not fun either. It was a nightmare watching them. I mean, they were running in soup, which is not cool, by the way. That was not a fun thing to watch. It was not like the shiny. I mean, still a lot of people there, but it was not what you expect. I want the whole thing, and it was a mess.
Yeah.
It was. It was like a bunch of just gross.
Well, and before the race, I get news alerts out of Louisville. Apparently, before the race, there was a huge traffic crash on 65 to get
Oh, really?
to the Derby, and it was backed up for miles.
Oh, that's horrible. I kept figuring out, like, when are they racing again? Because I kept thinking it's getting later and later, and they didn't go off till like 6 o'clock, which was crazy. Those horses, man, sitting around all day thinking about going for a run. Because it's an event. You go there, but I was bummed. I was like, it's so gross and sloppy. Is this really the best horse? Well, you know what, though? I'm glad sovereignty beat journalism. Because it's been doing that for a while, baby. Oh, my Lord. So we got a lot of stuff to talk to. We're going to talk some poping, right? So it's happening.
It's not easy.
It ain't easy, as we all know. I saw them put up the little chimney. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Put the little chimney up. Did you hear what he did with his Pope mobile?
What did he do?
He gave it to, he had it fixed up for people in Gaza to turn it into some sort of food thing, and then I'm sure the Jews will bomb it. But still, oh, Chad, you said stuff about Israel. I'm kidding, but given the chance. I don't know if you're aware of this. They don't mess around there.
Better not be in the wrong area.
No, but he wanted it to be some sort of symbol for togetherness and whatnot.
Yeah.
So this is it's interesting. And now they've already started to sequester the guys. I saw that. So, because some of them were kind of stoked that they got to be, Pope stars. They're walking around doing all the interviews, having like the media follow them.
Oh, yeah.
And now they're going to be sequestered, and they're sweeping every couple hours, like every room. I was like, no way. I was like,
I wonder what happens if you get caught with your phone.
That's a great question.
Detention.
Yeah. I'm surprised somebody hasn't spun it like we should turn this into a reality television show. I'm sure Trump
Like if you're a cardinal and they catch you with your phone, like, taking video you shouldn't, do you get demoted to Robin?
You don't get recess.
Oh. Cardinal to Robin. Oh, he's a woodpecker now. That's what got us in this mess.
Oh, man.
Oh, so they're being cut off from everybody now. So that's what they do. They take them into an area. They essentially sequester them. They're at the point, too, when they go in, I don't think they're even allowed to come out. They have to stay inside of this, so nobody can talk to them. Think of it as a jury. Do you think they order good food?
Oh, you know it. They're in Italy.
Yeah, they're like, God, these guys have been in there for 6 months, right? They come out, they're all like 400 pounds.
Listen, fellas, the food is really good. Let's just keep on voting.
They installed 2 stoves this time. They wanted to have that. Last time it was gray. Do you remember that for a while? They're like, you guys come up with the Pope? It was like, eh. It was like, Pope.
We're working on.
We're working. It's going to be good. Yeah, it's going to be fun. And then, of course, not everybody was happy with Trump and his Pope picture. A guy can just.
I'm telling you, man.
Absolutely.
Well, he said he would make a great Pope. He's just throwing his hat in the ring.
Again, it's wonderful. Narnia.
It'd be a great job to have.
Because I get a boss around the Catholics.
boss around.
It's my dream. It's what he wants. He wants a billion people that he could just boss around.
Oh.
They were not like, I saw Cardinal Dolan came out and said it was embarrassing. He's like, I hope he didn't have anything to do with it. He posted it on his Truth.
On his Truth social. He posted it. Even if he didn't make it, he reposted it.
Goodness.
That's what makes him him, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
And everybody talks about it. It's like this weekend with the whole Alcatraz. You're not going to redo Alcatraz. It costs $1 billion. You have like 8 people that could stay there. I don't know who you think is staying there.
Oh.
No, it seems like it's a great place for a prisoner. The Rock. We got Sean Connery. I spoke to him last night. He and Nicolas Cage going to protect it.
Clint Eastwood's going to come out and he's going to cut the ribbon.
Have you ever been there?
I've never been there.
Oh, it's awesome. It is. So,
I bet you it was an awesome place to go as a prisoner, too.
Yeah, it's probably a lot of fun. There wasn't a lot going on there, I'll tell you that. You know what was creepy, though? Like, so you go, if you've ever done it, you can take a tour with and this is the weird thing. There are still some people so the guys that gave us a tour guide, they were prisoners.
Oh, yeah?
At one time. And
on Alcatraz?
Yeah, they were prisoners on Alcatraz. You have both prisoners and guards of Alcatraz that are still alive were given the tours.
Interesting.
So, it was interesting, but they talk about, the Birdman at Alcatraz is down there. But the scary part was when you go and they show you where solitary confinement is, that's terrifying. Going in there with nothing. I mean, you can't see anything.
Yeah, that would.
It's blacked out.
It is all you go in there. There's nothing. You're not getting. I mean, you can't see a thing.
And it's just pitch black.
Pitch black. And even, it was just the gravity of like you're being on this island because you're also detached from everything. You're not getting visitors. That kind of thing. I mean, you're so detached. You're not even on the mainland. And, it was definitely a trip, but they told the stories of what it was like. For some prisoners, it was just a different prison. It wasn't anything horrific, but for other prisoners, it was 23 hours a day inside of a tiny, itty-bitty little cage.
What they called in Cool Hand Luke, the box.
The box. You don't want to go to the box, kids. So much stuff to get to today. Tons of stuff. Cinco de Mayo. We're going to talk about Cinco. So everybody thinks Cinco de Mayo is Mexican Independence Day. It is not.
Margarita Day.
It is Margarita Day. You're correct on that. We'll talk a little bit about that. We got a lot of stuff. The Real ID thing, I'm sorry, it kind of scares me a bit. We should all have a little nerves when it comes to this Real ID.
I do kind of wonder about that, too.
Yeah. So there's a really good piece that a Derek Bros did who is looking at this thing and why only Rand Paul and Massey over the last umpteen years have ever come out and said where they think this is going. And when you compare it to things like China and Denmark, it's scary. And we'll talk a bit about that, bunch of other things to get to. If you missed the show, grab the podcast. Happy Monday. Cinco de Mayo. Yeah. Chad Benson Show. Super Talk 99.7. Basketball season, right? We're done with the season. We're into the serious time. Playoffs going on right now. And your chance to win big with Prize Picks is going on. I want you to download the app. Use my code Chad. Now, when you do, this is above or below, more or less. It's that simple. That's what you're picking. You're picking players, not teams. You can pick hockey, basketball. Yes, you can pick baseball. You name it, they've got it all. And it is all kinds of fun. Simple and easy to do. You can win up to 2,000 times your money, plus a chance to go to a VIP trip to the finals and take a buddy with you as well. Download the app today. Use my code Chad. When you do, you get $50 bonus the minute you play your first $5 app and first $5 lineup, and it looks like this. You may pick, let's say, Jason Tatum to score 22.5 points and maybe Shohei Ohtani to get more than 1.5 hits. That's a lineup. It's that simple. Takes less than 60 seconds. Win or lose your first time, you get $50 bonus right into your account. Download the app today. Use code Chad. Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be 21. Present in Tennessee. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-426-2537.
All right, drivers still got the left lane blocked, 840 westbound past Horton Highway. That's due to a tractor trailer that crossed from the westbound side into the eastbound side of the interstate. Got the road work blocking the off-ramp, 65 northbound to eastbound 840. Immigration rights groups up in arms over ICE detentions in Nashville and student loan borrowers. Today's the day. Details at 12:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Today's the day, kids.
Yes, sir.
And adults.
And adults.
And people that are even older than that.
Yeah, maybe even people who passed on.
You are, you're in a lot of trouble.
They'll come back and pay us.
They'll come for you. They are. They're serious about this.
Yeah.
You're like, you guys weren't kidding, were you? No, we weren't. We were going to come and get that money that you owe the government and the American people that you promised you would pay back. And I think it's going to be ugly for a lot of people. I think a lot of people are deciding what the hell they're going to do with this.
About 5 million are.
Some people have already made they made their account. They've already started paying. But I do understand there's some people out there, if they're like, they want at least 15% of your income. You're not getting that. They don't have that to spare.
That could be pretty stiff.
So what does it look like? And I'm always curious, too, about the interest rates. I mean, you're like, I've been paying for 12 years, and I owe $1,000 more than I started with.
Yeah.
I'm like, who'd you borrow money from?
Yeah, and how long did it take for you to even start chipping away at the principal, or have you?
No, I think a lot of them, I don't know if they have. That's the scary thought. I was reading something today about all these, these loan places here, Tennessee. This one company, 115,000 people they've sued here. Some people, they'd borrow like $1,500 and they're like 2, 3, 4, 5 years into paying it off, some even more, and they still owe like $12,000.
Man, just for $1,500.
Yeah, $1,500, $2,000. It's insane. I mean, and like usury rates. That's what these things are. I mean, they're coming for you. And I get it. If you're desperate, and a lot of times people are desperate, they don't have the best credit, so you're taking a risk, and it's unsecured. So for everybody who's got a story like that, they probably have 5 or 6 people that borrowed $1,000 and then skipped out. But it is, I mean, for a lot of these people that have gone the last 4 or 5 years not paying anything, this is going to be a big shock because you could barely afford your car payment and your rent now. Now you've added on something in between the two. That's going to be tough. Congratulations. Meanwhile, they're having the Met Gala tonight. People that don't need money. Do you guys know anything about the Met Gala? I've never been invited.
I have no... What?
The Met Gala, that's the place where every celebrity in the world shows up, and they're all dressed to the nines. I don't think Kanye is going to be there. Although it feels like a place Kanye would show up just for the hell of it. Right?
He just walked the red carpet with a black hood and a swastika on his shirt.
Yeah, and his girl and his wife, she'd have tassels on her tatas, right? Because that's what he does to her.
And that's it.
And yeah, nothing else, just those, right? And just he'd walk down there, and then he would just leave. And the people, what the hell happened? Who's this guy? Oh, it's Kanye. He's nuts. He's lost his mind. But tonight is about black designers. Anna Winters told us. Man, these people go. Do you remember? Was it a few years ago? Was it AOC that went there and she wrote that? She wore that dress, "Eat the Rich."
Yeah, eat the rich.
Because like a $20,000 dress or whatever it was.
Yeah. And there was some controversy on whether or not she claimed that as income or something like that.
Yeah. It's I mean, I've first of all, I'd have to get dressed. I'm upset I had to wear pants.
That's right. You had to wear pants today, dude.
So that already tells you if I would ever be fine. That's the kind of thing where like, hey, Chad, you want to go tonight? To what? To the Met Gala? No desire to do that.
Can I wear shorts? No.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm not.
Flip-flops? Shorts and flip-flops? You know what, though? I would probably wear shorts and flip-flops. People are like, man, that guy's, he's really got it going on.
That's a fashion icon right there.
That is. I'd wear like a lampshade for a hat.
Yeah.
Have you seen those? You've seen the guy that dresses up crazy, just grabs the wackiest stuff, and then he runs on the runways at places? So he'll have like a bag that's like for your trash.
Yeah.
He'll have like a lampshade. He'll have like one baseball like catcher's shin pad on, and like flip-flops and people, and they would just, he does the walk and the whole 9 yards, and nobody says anything because the stuff behind him is just as crazy.
The emperor has no clothes.
The emperor has no clothes. To this day, I have never watched a fashion show and seen anything like that on the streets.
No, ever.
Have you?
No.
Because
it's too outrageous to wear on the street.
So what are we doing here? Like, because nobody's going to watch you walk down the thing with 4 white T-shirts that everybody would wear.
I don't know. You might be onto something.
I know. 4 white T-shirts at once. Coming up, Real ID scares us all, and it should. We're going to talk a little bit about that. If you missed any show, we say grab the podcast. Check us out across all of our social media. That includes YouTube, not yet Rumble, Twitter, Facebook, and
Twitch.
It's Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997.
$12:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes. Here in Nashville, immigration rights groups say people are waiting to find out where their loved ones were taken over the weekend. Tennessee Highway Patrol says it, along with federal authorities, conducted what it says was a public safety operation in Antioch and South Nashville. Traffic stops where ICE handled people who couldn't prove they were here legally. THP says it confiscated illegal guns and drugs. About 150 traffic stops for traffic violations resulted in all that. The mayor's office says it's working to get a list of names of the people detained. And the Trump administration now says it will offer illegal immigrants $1,000 if they deport themselves. Department of Homeland Security says people would receive the money after returning to their home country. Border Czar Tom Homan telling reporters at the White House it's better than getting arrested.
You'll have some movement, right? Because I think people are finally getting the message if you leave on your own, you can take advantage of legal programs come back.
And by the way, Homan says he stands by the president's idea to reopen Alcatraz in San Francisco to house illegal immigrants.
Well, we need detention beds, and we do contracts in a lot of states, a lot of local municipalities, so that's I think it's certainly an option, especially for the significant public safety threats, national security threats.
Trump administration set to begin collecting defaulted government student loan payments starting today. Author and Market Watch assistant managing editor Jillian Berman says your credit score will reflect if you are behind on student loan payments.
A credit score drop is the first sign that you might, be behind on your student loan. So even borrowers who are delinquent, which is not as serious as default, can face significant credit score drops.
Department of Education says 5 million borrowers are in default after not making payments for their government student loans for at least 90 days. The government can now take payment from borrowers' tax refunds, wages, or send the debt to collections. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
The rain could be a pain. What's going on underneath your house, your crawl space, inside that foundation? What is going on? You don't know? USS can help you out with that. United Structural Systems. Why don't you call them today in case you worry about the stuff that you've had, those cracks in your foundation, your basement. You have water leaks. You have anything, those tiny cracks in your basement. When everything goes sideways, that water can become a nightmare. Things like mold, wood rot, and yes, maybe in the chance of structural repair may be needed. So that's why you call USS today. They're going to treat you incredible. They're not going to sell you anything you don't need. They're not going to charge you anything to come out and give you an inspection. Call 615-488-7855 today, 615-488-7855. Don't let it become a situation where you've let it go so bad that now you need to do something big. Whether it's the walls, right, the foundation walls, are they waterproofed? Are they ready for what might be coming? How about your crawl space? All of that stuff. Little things here can go a long way to stopping the big pain in the butt that cost you a lot. Call USS today, 615-488-7855 or online at USSTN.com. So let me tell you about my friends over at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. If you're worried about your back, don't be. They're going to help you out. Maybe you had back pain for a long time. Right now, in honor of the 47 president, they got 47% off the big 47 going on for non-surgical spinal decompression. And if your back starts to hurt, maybe it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But maybe you've had chronic pain for a long time. You've looked and there's like, well, you might need to do this. You've tried everything. Well, you haven't tried Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley. They're going to take care of you like nobody's business. They're experts. They're the best around. They've practiced around the world. They've studied around the world. They know exactly what they're doing. The first thing you do is you go in, you get a consultation. They can take x-rays, bring an MRI if you have one, and let them take a look and build you a plan to get you out and about, enjoying life, enjoying the sun, enjoying the fun again, getting your back in place, if you will. Call them today, 615-246-0000. 5009, 615-246-5009, or online at painisbad.com. So that guy that fell at the baseball game, apparently he's doing better.
That's good.
Yeah, the long road ahead of him, they said.
I bet.
But he is doing better, and that's good.
Like, I wonder if he's going to have lifelong issues now.
Oh, I'm sure he is. I feel like this is one of those things where I doubt he's going to be running the 40 anytime soon.
Probably have a recurring fear of baseball stadiums.
I would think so. So he is, yeah, I wonder if, like you said, does he have any brain damage? Does he have any kind of thing that is going to cause him to spend forever in a wheelchair of some sort or always with help? Which, you know, and then what's the lawsuit look like? Because you know there's going to be one. You know, the Pirates are going, oh, God, we're not even that good.
Going to have to put up nets in front of all the fans.
Oh, God, we're at that point. So wait a minute. Somebody got drunk and fell, and now all of us have to be punished.
Everybody
good.
is going to pay the price.
Look, did I understand the nets with the baseball coming off the – yeah, I did. I often wondered for years why they didn't have something like that. I mean, you know, you've gone to a baseball game. You see the people around you. Even with a mitt, you're like, you're not catching anything. And you're not paying attention. So I see some of that stuff. This, oh, God. Again, and even if you put warnings everywhere, it still won't matter. Somebody's going to do something stupid because they're drunk or they're just uncoordinated, and now everybody's got to pay the price.
It's called human beings.
The worst type. Let you guys know that.
See, especially for people like you, Brother Jed, who are teetotalers.
That's right. I would not have done that.
You're punished for something you don't even partake in.
I know. It's so frustrating. It is. And I see it coming. I just, every baseball stadium around there is trying to figure out, all right, what do we do? Do we move? Do we not let people sit in the outfield? Do we not do this? Do we not? I mean, what could we do? Do we no longer have second decks? Oh, my Lord. Frustrating. Speaking of frustrating, while they're getting ready to unveil the Pope, how long do you think it's going to take, guys? What are you thinking? Over under.
All right, so we've got, 135 Cardinals are going to be voting.
Yes.
The most ever. I think it's going to, I'll say, I'll just say a week.
Yeah, I'm
7 days. I'll say 7 days.
I say 10.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going for the weekend at some point. So if it starts Wednesday, I'm thinking Sunday. So 5 days?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
I think there's going to be a whole lot of politicking.
Oh, yeah. That's going on right now.
Just ask Ray Fiennes.
Oh, he knows. A lot of smoking, too. A lot of guys running around having a swig here and there. Chilling on their Vespas. Ciao.
Did you hear that they have so many Cardinals this time around that not all of them can stay in the Sistine Chapel?
Oh, what a bummer that would be.
Yeah, some of them they're having to put up in another building.
That's where you find out where you rank in the church.
I was going to say, this is how close you are to Jesus. You are at a Motel 6.
And you probably got to share a shower down the hall.
How frustrated do you think these guys are going to be?
And if you complain, it counts against your vow of poverty.
That's right. That's right. Going to be down there. At least they got breakfast.
Who took the shampoo?
Go down and make those little waffles.
Yeah.
Remember, if you're a Cardinal who's not from Italy, it's okay to get some gelato while you're there.
It's okay to get some gelato. If you are from Italy, no, just smokes. That's it. That's all you're allowed to have. Ciao, ciao. Real ID. We're days away from that, kids. Are you ready for it? This guy's Derek Bose. He's a investigative reporter talking about the Real ID and little fears that maybe he's got. Nobody's really pushed the envelope, pushing back at this, minus a few people. Ron Paul, Massey being one of them. That, hey, this is coming, and there's some serious questions.
People much more informed than me, lawyers, NGOs, nonprofits who focus on these issues particularly, have been warning about the growth of facial recognition, have been warning about the growth of digital IDs, and how, as those systems become more interconnected, starting with, okay, you have your identification to get into federal buildings on an app. But then over time, as these systems expand, which they will, both in the private sector and through government, to include your health information, to include your banking, financial information, et cetera, you end up being very close to what China has in the version, in their form of WeChat, and the one app that sort of has everything in it. And again, this is going to be sold in a way that's convenient, it's fast. We're seeing this at the airport. People are being encouraged to go paperless and to just use their face to check in. And we've heard from the airports that maybe as soon as this fall, but definitely in the next couple of years, they plan to make facial recognition a mandatory part of the check-in process.
Oh, my goodness. Already I'm thinking I got to fly private, which is expensive. I went out this weekend, so our new friends, a guy who owns Contours, great dude, Keith, and his girl, and Greg, and Denise, who was his wife, is her birthday. Happy birthday, Denise. Greg's he's a boob, but no, he's a sweet guy. He's a pilot, and we were talking about how much it costs to fly private. You're going to want to do everything you can. If facial recognition is going to be that way, yeah, we better figure out.
Does flying private, is Real ID impacted by that?
Nope.
You don't have to have it?
Show up and go.
Okay.
All right.
That's what we need to start
That's
doing.
what we need to start doing. All right. Show up, hop, and go. It's that simple. One of the things he said, he goes, if they call me at, if they say, hey, we're going to leave here at, noon tomorrow, and it's 11:50 and you're late, you call the plane and say, hey, I'm going to be a little bit late. And like, okay, because you've booked us. So we're not going anywhere because you're the place, you chose the place, and we're going to your place. So that's not going to, I'm sure they're going to try to figure out how to use the Real ID in this way. Like, how can we get it so we can make this part of the plan? But the China thing, to me, is scary.
So in all different sectors, starting with the Real ID, with mobile driver's license, and especially at the airports, we're seeing this push towards digital identifications. And mobile driver's license is just one form of that. I'll also just note briefly that the TSA has already made it clear on their own website that they will accept mobile driver's licenses as a Real ID compliant ID. And again, they've also got pages on their website showing you how you can skip the whole ID part at all and just do facial recognition, which they're starting to roll out at different terminals. So,
no, that already creeps me out. I don't want any part of that. And then again, it goes back to China, right? Like, and the fear of what happens. If you guys don't know anything about China, their ID, they can do everything with their ID. So you're connected with a national ID. And if they want to debank you, if they want to stop you from doing stuff, they can do it at a heartbeat.
And as I said, when you're bringing on the systems that we know are rolling out, both privately and publicly, facial recognition, digital IDs, you could end up in a very dangerous situation where the government knows everywhere you go, even more than they currently do, and knows every purchase you're making. And as we've seen in the last few years, when you combine that with a sort of, whether you want to call it cancel culture or just people who are talking about controversial topics who've been debanked or taken off social media, what happens whenever all of that's run through one central app?
And that right there is my fear. So what if Trump doesn't like some people, it's all one through thing, and he wants to take a look at what they're doing? What if the next administration says the same thing? I don't like the way this person does this. I don't like the way these people do this. This group here, that right there is my fear. Because we always talk about the NSA and all the spying. Well, guess what? Now all they're doing is getting us to say, hey, can you accept this and let us spy on you? Can you check here? And that's...
Well, and that's the thing with all of these things like this Real ID. What about the next administration?
That's it. What about the next administration?
How are they going to use this?
And that's it is the fear that we should all be talking about, because, again, they did this under the guise if they wanted to protect us after 9/11. And here we are 25 years almost later. Nothing has happened since then. I'm more worried about who's working underneath the plane and putting baggages on than what's going to happen inside of the plane. Yes, Bell.
No, I was thinking about how this is only going to be, government never tries to shrink itself.
Nope.
Government never tries to reel back its own power. And at some point, we're going to go from Real ID to something more restrictive and something more restrictive, and they're going to want more info and demand more info. And we we should be saying no now.
We should have said no a long time ago. But the problem was, again, it was pitched to us as this is great for everybody. It's going to be good. It's going to be wonderful. We're going to protect ourselves. To now it's going to be convenient. You can have everything in one place. To what's going to happen if you don't have one? Now, this is interesting. This guy starts talking about what happened because you think it's only China. How about Denmark?
And I've already seen this in places like Denmark, for example, is a country I recently visited, speaking about these concerns. And they informed me, Derek, we already have this. We have a My ID program where you can't go into any, you can't do public transportation, you can't get insurance, can't open up a bank account, can't get a home, et cetera. So essentially, it's not mandatory, but you can't function without it. And so I think that's the other big concern, is that as these things roll out, there becomes no way to operate outside of those systems, and within those systems becomes tightly controlled.
And that's the scary part. So, yeah, you don't have to get it, but you can't have a bank account. You can't open a home loan. Look at your medical stuff. You can't do any of the stuff that the rest of the world does. And by the way, this includes the fact that you may have a passport. That's not the same thing. That's what's coming. It's not going to be the same. Oh, yes, you have a passport. It's fine for you to fly, but you still need a real ID for everything else in life, which is allowing this insanity of it becoming a centralized situation where, like I said, the debanking is a scary thing. So imagine this. The next administration comes along, any administration, and you do all kinds of things where you are a voice, a pain in their ass all day long. You tweet, you do all kinds of stuff, and you get flagged a few times, and all of a sudden you go to operate, you go to your bank or you go to get into your account, and it says access denied. Is that possible? I'm worried about it. They talk about a technocrat. People are worried about an autocrat. I'm worried about a technocrat. Somebody's going to use technology as this way to push an agenda. That's scary as hell. And it's closer than all the other things they talk about when they try to scare you. We shall see. Several people have chimed in about the over-under for the next pope.
Oh, yeah?
3 seems to be it. They think the next 2 days, people are going to push everybody out that they don't really want and focus on a few. They already got something in mind.
I think the first day is going to be nothing but pure partying. It's going to be them hanging out with a bottle of wine. Just getting drunk, having all kinds of nice meals. Then they'll be like, okay, now I'm ready to do some voting.
Ready to do some voting.
I wonder how long... ready to do some voting. Let's get hammered, guys. Let's find out who we are. Let's just kind of work it out. See where we go with this. It's kind
Show
of
hands.
Who wants this guy over here? This guy's he's from Africa. This guy, he's over here. This guy's from the Asia guy. Over here, this guy's from South America. He's a pretty good guy, too. This guy's Italian. We've already had a bunch of those. But it's really good when he drives around the Vespa. He's all, ciao. Yeah, I think that's the way it's going to go.
Has there ever been a pope of color?
No. This will be the first.
If.
I think it's going to be either him or the guy from Asia. I forgot his name. But he's there's a couple of them that, they may surprise you too. Age plays a big role because they don't want you too young, right? Like in your 50s or 60s. They want you in your late 60s, early 70s, just in case you're insane and you're not going to be around forever.
How old was John Paul when he got elected pope?
He was a young one. That was a problem right there. Right, he
was on the throne there for 20 years.
Yeah, he was there for a while. So he came to power, and I like that. He came to power. He came to power, became the pope. Rank man. He cruised around. So he was voted popage. Man, you go look at all of his stuff. My goodness me, that guy's got a Wikipedia. The papacy. 1978, following the death of Pope John Paul V, they voted for John Paul I, and he died after 33 days. So the second conclave was split, and eventually he rolled in, and he was just there for a while. Think about how long he was there. Yeah, they don't want that anymore. That's one of the things they've talked about. They don't want somebody who's going to be a pope for a long time. just in case.
Just in case they do things they don't like.
That's right. You don't, think about that, man. If you start poping and you're poping wrong, and then you can't stop it, and what they can, I don't know if they have I'm sure they have some sort of recount kind of thing.
What do you mean?
Well, like, what if he's not poping the way that you want him to pope? Do they have a recall?
You made your choice. No, there's no recalls.
Wouldn't it be funny though? Like, we voted a recall of you.
I mean, there's been popes that have committed heinous crimes and they didn't end up losing the papacy.
That's true. So he was head of the Catholic Church in the Sovereign Vatican State from 1978 to 2005. They don't want another one of those.
Yeah,
that's a long time.
Long time.
And they're not looking for that. They want somebody here that's 3, 4, 5 years max on their way. See the Lord. Coming up, more stuff. Poping ain't easy, and cardinaling ain't easy, as somebody said as well. It is the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. Rough Greens, ruffgreens.com/Chad. Go there, get a Jumpstart trial bag of Rough Greens for free. It's a $20 value. They're going to send it to you for free. All you ask you to do is cover the cost of shipping. It's that simple. Now, when you go there and you get this, it is awesome. I want you to try 1 scoop a day. Dog food is dead food. Over the next 90 days, your dog is going to have better coat, more energy, better skin. Immune system is going to be improved. Their heart health is going to be improved. It's like a whole new dog. And you judge it after 30, 60, 90 days. You watch what happens. Try a Jumpstart trial bag, a $20 value, doesn't cost you anything but shipping, and take the 90-day challenge. And don't change a thing with your dog's food. Just the 1 scoop a day. You watch what happens. Your dog's food's going to start to come to life because of those live enzymes. Go to roughgreens.com/Chad. Use my code, Chad. That's roughgreens.com/Chad. Get a free Jumpstart trial bag of Rough Greens, a $20 value for free. Roughgreens.com/Chad.
ICE operation in Nashville. This story and more at 1 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
The New York Times says it's hard to watch because of Hutchins' death. And USA Today says watching it, it's easy to be rattled by the gunshots. The movie is in some theaters and available on streaming services. The film's armorer is serving 18 months in prison, meanwhile, for involuntary manslaughter for failing to secure the gun on the set. Charges against Alec Baldwin were dismissed last year.
So Friday night, I said to my wife, I said, you know what? We watched the trailer. I said, let's watch the movie. So this was the movie that Helena Hutchinson, who was the cinematographer, was killed by a fragment of a bullet that was apparently a live bullet inside of the gun, and she was a cinematographer for it. So we watched it. Of course, that caused controversy, the whole thing, as it should. If somebody dies on a set, that should probably cause a little controversy. It was a good movie. It was beautifully shot. It was stunning.
I know that area well.
Yeah, and it was, they shot a vast majority of it in New Mexico. Then they finished it later on, I think in California and in parts of Utah and whatnot. But it was gorgeous. It was absolutely stunning. The movie kind of, remind me of Old Henry. A little bit of a slow burn.
That's a good
But
one.
when it moves, it moves. And it was a good movie. It was, and everybody's like, I saw a couple different articles. Is it okay to watch this? Should you feel good? No, you should. Her family came out and said, it's gorgeous. We want you to remember, because she shot most of it. We want you to remember it's good for them. There's therapy to this. They're glad they finished the movie. And I thought it was, nice touch, obviously, at the end of the way they sent out their condolences and love towards her. But the movie itself was good. And after a couple minutes, you don't think about it at all. And, I know everybody keeps thinking, well, is there a point where is this when she died? Is this when she died? Yeah, it's the same thing, I guess, when The Crow came out with Brandon Lee. But we didn't freak out like this. So I thought it was a good movie. And if you like Westerns, I think it's a good movie. It is. And you like Westerns, my man.
I love them.
So I think you'd like it. And the story is great. The acting is awesome. It's got Travis Fimmel from Vikings in it. It's got, this kid is great in it. So the whole movie's good. You'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it. If you like Westerns. If not, it's a slow movie. I'm not going to tell you anything different. We give it to you straight here. Coming up, hour number 2, we're going to talk about what took place. The raids here, as they like to call them. They're not really raids, but we'll talk about that in Nashville. A bunch of other things to get to. Missing the show, grab the podcast. Chad Benson Show.
One o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Just picked up a crash over here on the South Loop going westbound there at Broadway. It's off on the right shoulder, but you got to get around for the first responders there. Also, 65 northbound off-ramp to eastbound I-840. That's going to be blocked by some road work. Then 840 eastbound at I-65. Right lane is blocked there at Paytonsville in Williamson County. Also in Williamson County, a crash. It's off on the right shoulder there, Cool Springs, 65 northbound at Moores Lane. Right now in Nashville, traffic stops led to dozens of arrests over the weekend, and ICE was involved when people pulled over, couldn't provide proof they're in the U.S. legally. There were about 150 traffic stops and an unknown number of detentions, but immigration rights groups estimate it to be in the hundreds. A statement from the Tennessee Department of Homeland Security says it partnered with ICE for a public safety operation focused on areas of Nashville with a history of serious traffic crashes and suspected gang activity. Meanwhile, Mayor Freddie O'Connell's office seeking the names of all those detained in the operation. He says that's not how you make a community safe. The Trump administration now says it will offer immigrants $1,000 if they deport themselves. Department of Homeland Security says people will receive the money after returning to their home country. border czar Tom Homan telling reporters at the White House it's part of a push by the Trump administration to push for people to self-deport rather than get arrested.
You'll have some movement, right? Because I think people are finally getting the message. If you leave on your own, you can take advantage of legal programs, come back.
Officials in Southern California actively searching for missing people on a suspected human smuggling boat.
Panga-style boats are commonly used to smuggle humans and drugs into San Diego County from Mexico. They are long, skinny wood or metal boats. They've got a motor in the back. On Monday morning, one came ashore near Del Mar, north of the city of San Diego, and the Coast Guard says 3 people were found dead. 9 more are unaccounted for. There were 4 survivors who needed medical aid. It's been cold and somewhat stormy for the past couple of days. It's unclear if that played a role out on the water. Alex Stone, EBC News.
Federal government set to begin collecting defaulted government student loan payments today. The Department of Education says 5 million borrowers are in default after not making payment of their government student loans for at least 90 days. The government can now take payment from borrowers' tax refunds, wages, or send the debt to collections. Author and Market Watch Assistant Managing Editor Jillian Berman recommends borrowers in default reach out for resolution of their loan.
For most people, the best thing to do is going to be to contact something called the Default Resolution Group, and they will, sort of give you your options to help you get out of default.
And the U.S. Army says it will temporarily stop training helicopter crews near D.C.'s Reagan National Airport.
The pause in training missions follows an incident last week in which an Army Black Hawk deviated from its planned landing at the Pentagon. Air traffic controllers told 2 civilian jets to execute go-arounds before they landed at nearby Reagan National. Until a preliminary investigation is complete, the Army says it will not conduct training missions around the airport or the Pentagon. The FAA changed helicopter routes near Reagan National after January's collision over the Potomac, a crash that left 67 people dead.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Happy Cinco de Mayo. Get yourself a taco.
Yes, sir. 8 tacos.
That's right. Eat them up. Eat tacos. Tacos are delicious. There's never not a good time for tacos. I can't think of a time where it's like, you know what, this isn't a good time. You could have stomach issues. You'd be like, I think I should probably have a taco.
Yeah. I dip my tacos in Velveeta cheese.
Wait, what?
I put cheese on the tacos, and then I dip them in cheese.
Wait, what?
This man is weird.
Wow. What is that about?
And I'm not even drinking.
Do you have salsa?
Mm-hmm.
Hot sauce? You know, to each your own. I work with a guy who is from the Midwestiest of Midwestiest places. He was born and raised in Ann Arbor.
Midwest.
He couldn't have been more he was so opaque. You could see, he could haunt a house. That's how white he was. He'd walk in like, oh, Joe, I'm sorry. I thought I was being haunted.
Thought you were Casper.
We'd go out, we'd get Mexican food.
Yeah.
He put ketchup on his burrito.
Okay.
And I'm like, dude.
No.
We're in Arizona, okay? If any of my friends over here, ¿cómo está? See you, they're going to deport you, and rightly so. He's like, but it hurts. I like the taste of it. It hurts my stomach. Like, this is why you're single, bro. It's not helping you at all. Not helping you at all. My goodness me.
Cannot put ketchup on a burger.
No.
Can't do that.
I went to, there was a station in Cleveland a long time ago interested in me. So they fly me out there. And I'm like, well, you know, I just want to see what's going on here. It's Cleveland. It's beautiful Cleveland.
Yeah.
So we go to I said, well, what do you want? I said, well, Mexican food. Just see what you got, right? Throw it at you. It was awful. Awful!
In Cleveland?
Why?
It was like they went to the store and they bought all of everything old El Paso had. Right? What I mean, like it was so bad. That was not Mexican food. It was not. I know Mexican food. It is hard. I found a couple okay places here, but I will tell you what. Oh, my God. I just looked at them and said, there's no way I could work for you people. If this is the best you've got. What was that, ketchup? Is that what you guys gave? Ketchup with pepper?
See, that's the thing, dude. After living in New Mexico, I have become very picky about my Mexican restaurants.
It is hard,
in
right?
New Mexico, whoo, it was a whole different level.
Yeah, even in a place like Dallas, the Mexican food was hit or miss.
It is. It's hit or miss. You've got to. I'm telling you guys, I know everybody's like, we got to deport everybody. Well, A, no. And B, the food's delicious. I know that sounds weird, but it's true. And their culture is amazing. And you combine that with ours being first and foremost, like my grandpa used to say. It's awesome. It's incredible. And it is hit or miss in some places. But then you go to a place like where I lived, there was no miss. Like you were trying. Like I've gone to a couple places here. I'm like, what is this? Lying to me. Lying about. That's not. Again, even in Dallas, which is a pretty big city that has quite a Hispanic Latino population. And it's not always perfect. It isn't. The only place I've had worse was England. But I also had great in England. Oddly enough, I had amazing Mexican food in London because there was a guy who was Mexican-American.
Yeah.
He was a serviceman, fell in love with an English woman, married her, then brought his mom and several people over, and they made a restaurant. Originally, they were only doing stuff for people on the base who were like, we want Mexican food. Then they expanded it, thought they'd open up something little, and then it was incredible. But it was Mama's recipes. And Mama wasn't born in London. ¿Cómo está? Exactly. Speaking of issues when it comes to immigration, last night.
Well, guys, what THP tells us is troopers conducted around 150 traffic stops over the weekend, and some of them did involve this immigration activity with ICE. That is what troopers do confirm to us. Now, they say some drivers were found without a valid driver's license or ID, and there were some illegal drugs found, illegal guns found, and some suspected gang affiliation as well. So troopers contacted ICE when immigration status was in question. Then Sunday, here at the Department of Homeland Security, groups fighting for immigrant rights say there were dozens of people being bussed out by ICE officials, potentially to Louisiana.
And we all know Louisiana is where they want to send them because there's a judge there who's very friendly. There was a decent amount of people picked up There was no doubt about that. And what was the total? Do we know?
Nope, do not know a total, but according to immigration rights groups, they claim witnesses tell them there were hundreds.
I don't know if it's hundreds. Again, everybody's got their own. The people that were, on one side, ICE will say, we got 40. And then the other people's like, they got 3,000. You know where the truth is? Usually somewhere in the middle. Shocker.
This is a move that groups like the GOP Nashville says protects the community, but on the other side, Democrat State Representative Afton Bain out of Nashville says it's, quote, dragnet operations like this do nothing to improve public safety. We caught up with some people protesting while the bus was taking off.
So they're protesting. I get it. It's like, think about this. You have a stop for something, and what was it like? Was it just a bunch of random stops, almost like a DUI kind of thing?
Well, they say that they stopped motorists for traffic violations.
Okay,
there were infractions.
That seems a little weird.
They have to have that as a pretext too. You can't just pull somebody over and go show me ID.
Yeah, that seems a little weird though. That they're just pulling over. That's a lot of people to catch in just a night of. We're only going out to look for minor infractions. It feels like it was a sting. We got them.
Many of them have already asylum. They just didn't have their proper documentation on them. One of them is pregnant, and she's about to give birth in 2 months. And then another wife has a baby, and he is 3 months. And they're waiting to see what's going to happen with their husbands.
Well, if they're supposed to be here legally, they should be able to prove that. Before they're probably already moved, though. This is the one thing we know about this administration. They move them quick.
I would have my proper documentation on me wherever I went.
Always. Me too, right?
I mean,
it sounds horrible, but I will tell you, I've been inked up for a long time. And when I was here's a perfect example. When I was in Newport Beach, California, and if you guys don't know Newport, it's quite, I got pulled over because I was driving a very nice car at the time.
Uh-oh.
They pulled me out, man. They had me face down on the ground, the whole 9 yards, because they assumed I was a drug dealer.
Well, with all the MS-13 tattoos you have.
Yeah, I do have a crown on me, so that screams of, which is one of the things they look for. But you're right, though, Ken. You would think you would have all of your stuff on you all the time.
Yeah.
At this point in time.
I would not risk it.
But even if you have let's say you're Latino, you're Asian, whatever it is, right? And you've got a Tennessee license, doesn't say that you're got a California license because they'll give them to people that are here illegally. Or you got doesn't say that you're a citizen. So you think, well, I got an ID, that should be good enough. That's not good enough in some cases. No. And the question is, where are they now? My assumption is they're already in Louisiana.
Multiple Metro leaders.
Don't you think?
It could be. Yeah.
Leaders, including the mayor's office, tells us Metro Nashville Police was not involved in this operation, and we are still working to learn more from THP on the arrests, unrelated maybe to the ICE operation as well. Live in Nashville, Johnny Matthew, guys. Back to
Nashville Mayor Freddie.
So Freddie and them have stuff to say, because Freddie and them are upset, as you would expect.
O'Connell, who said in part, this type of federal enforcement action is not focused on making us safer and leaves people in our communities fearing any interaction with law enforcement when there is a crime occurring. We will be seeking the names of those detained.
And the Nashville GOP posted on Twitter saying, enforcing immigration law is not cruelty. It's a matter of national security and public safety. Nashville is not above federal law, and DHS has a duty to act when local systems fail to do so.
So I'm sure this is the first of what will be many. If you're here illegally and you're listening to the show, thanks so much. Appreciate that. But you're right, man. Ken's right. Like, you better. It's weird to think you better have your papers. I mean, when you say it like that, you're like, oh goodness.
Yeah. Well, especially with the campaigns leading up to the election. I mean, this administration made it clear exactly what they were going to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're doing it. Did they talk about Alcatraz? It's the dumbest thing in the world. And you know what's stupid? The fact that somebody comes out and goes, I agree with him. No, that's just ridiculous. You're not going to reopen Alcatraz. I thought we were trying to save money.
Isn't that already considered a nationally protected museum?
It is
or
a
something?
park. It is under the national parks. So it's not a national park, but it's under the national park. So they're the ones who watch it, and it is a museum. And like I said, it's fascinating. It was one of those I've been to museums all over the world. I've been to a lot of different things. And I will say, some of them are amazing, some museums. Some are really boring, even the ones that are pretty cool, right? Like you go and you see Mona Lisa, and you're like, that's it? That's it? That's not as big as I thought it was going to be. But then you go out there, and it is amazing because we got a tour with people that were both prisoners and guards and learn the history and the story of some of the stuff. But it's ridiculous to think that you're going to spend $500 million to $1.5 billion to restore something that you're not going to use and that somebody else is going to come right behind and go, no. And are you going to stop they get 1 million people a year that go out there. And here's the other thing. If you live in California, you know this. Your Boy Scout group can stay the night on Alcatraz. Oh, yeah. You can't. I didn't, but you can.
That would be kind of fun.
It would be, right? Because it's got a lot of ghost stories, too.
Yeah, man.
Because it's pretty damn creepy.
Can you stay in the Birdman cell?
No, but you can go in it when you're there.
Oh, you can?
Oh, yeah, it's pretty cool. Again, it's part of history, and it's a weird part of history. And, yes, they take you to, you can see all the chambers, including, where they executed people. So there's some neat things there, but the thought of doing that, the fact he just throws stuff out there. I talked to Walt Disney. She said we could use the tower. Mickey's cool with it. Oh, boy. Oh, my goodness me. So I find it bizarre that he would say that. And the fact that and the other people are like, well, I agree with him 100%. Oh, for God's sakes. It's going to hold like 8 people. It doesn't hold a lot. It's not like some of these other places. And the cells are wee tiny. So, but the fact that you would, if you're trying to save money, this isn't the thing to do. I'm just letting you guys know that. And the other thing is it's hard for staff. You have to take a boat out there, get supplies out there. All of this stuff is harder to do. It's neat, but no, nice try. But everybody's talking about it. That's what makes it fun. Coming up, a lot of stuff still to get to. Got some of your text messages about what took place here last night, as well as some where to go for Mexican food. Because you got to get right. You got to do it right, because I've had some Mexican food here that has not been right, and I will tell you, it's not good. And a lot of people are very mad with Ken dipping the cheese. We'll talk about that as well. It is the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. Raycon, best earbuds around. Father's Day, not too far away. And I will tell you this right now. Chance for you to save 50% on everything on their site and get a 30-day happiness guarantee. But let's talk about the everyday earbuds from Raycon. Fit, feel, comfort, second to none. Sound quality through the roof. And now we get to some of the amazing things. 8 hours of talk time, 32 hours of battery life. On top of that, fast charging, multi-connectivity, active noise cancellation, just to name a few things. I love these because when I'm working out, when I'm playing pickleball, when I'm playing golf, they stay in my ears. They never fall out. I use them every day for editing and doing so many different things. You will love these, and so will Dad. Win Father's Day with the everyday earbuds from Raycon. Get yours now and take a look across all the things. Maybe they want headphones. Maybe they want the bone-conducting earbuds that they have are incredible. Amazing stuff on their site. Save 15% now, 30-day happiness guarantee. BuyRaycon.com/Chad. Save now, BuyRaycon.com/Chad.
A plane ticket and $1,000 to self-deport. This story and more at 1:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Did you see whose trial's getting ready to start? P. Diddy.
Yep.
How do you even come up with... Here's the weird thing, right? So you want to come up with a bunch of jurors who have no idea. They're just coming at this having no idea. We would all love that, except for the fact that if you have no idea, who are you? And I don't want you on a jury. Unless you just, we got 12 people who were in a coma, and they seem to be pretty good. Like, who are these people? And how do you get a jury for that? I mean, hey, they didn't get it with old Epstein there, but they're going to get it with him until he disappears. Well, they offered him a plea deal last week.
Yeah, he said nope.
He said no.
I'm going to bring everybody with me.
I think that's it. I think he knows he's going down forever, so he's like, well, you know what? So is everybody else. So what you need to look for is all the people that are slowly but surely disappearing in the modern world and decided to go to places like Venezuela where they have no extradition. Uruguay. I've always loved Uruguay, said, whoever. Ashton Kutcher. That was a big one that they talked about. And also, who are going to be we always talk about the people that did stuff. Who are the young stars that got dragged into this who are going to be exposed as being abused? Justin Bieber, I think, is one of them.
Well, and that's the thing, man. I mean, there's, I guess he's been out and about here in recent months, and people say he does not seem like he is doing well.
No, he's a hot mess. He is if you see him, I mean, he's dropped. He didn't have 40 pounds to lose, and he lost 40 pounds.
Right.
I mean, he looks like he's on heroin. And it is right because
stress will do that.
As stress at this level, where you are a star, you're a major star, now maybe the worst kind of stuff is going to come out about you, which you as a child potentially had, and again, this is true, had nothing to do with. As far as you didn't perpetrate any of it, it was perpetrated on you. And because of that, the amount of PTSD, because, somebody who has gone through this and while lived it, didn't live it in public like this. And that's going to be, that's a weird thing to think about. You're like, because I saw him the other day and I thought, Jiminy Cricket, does he look a hot mess? I mean, he looks like he hasn't eaten in a month. I mean, it is, and, like you said, there's going to be other ones too. And then what about the stars that were dragged into this on their own volition? But because Diddy, he feels like the kind of guy that's going to take everybody down.
Well, and a lot of people thought that birthday wishes thank you post that he put out a couple of months ago was a veiled warning.
Mm-hmm.
Because it apparently named people that he wanted to thank for the happy birthday wishes.
Ooh.
And he named each one.
It's one of those situations where, with a wink, wink, nudge, nudge through your people, hey, thanks so much. Loved the video.
Yeah.
Look forward to seeing you again. When your ass is dragged up there, because some of those people may be coming to testify, and they may not be leaving.
Could be, man.
And rightly so. Rightly so. And the fact that he didn't take, we're talking about P. Diddy here, or Sean, or Puffy, or Puff Daddy, or Piff, or Pooh, whatever his name is this week. The fact that he is turned that down shows you that, like you said, he is never getting out, and he is going to unleash hell on anybody.
Yeah, the deal was, even though it was a deal, it was probably not a very savory deal.
No.
And he's thinking, okay, if it's going to be like that, then it's going to be like that.
Man, I
think he's innocent.
Shut up.
Because, what sort of deal would they give him based on the allegation? I mean, these are some horrific allegations.
Yeah, forever in jail with a chance after 40 years to maybe get out. That's about as close as you're going to get to ever getting out.
Yeah.
Because he's going to go to jail forever with the chance of ever getting out. Never. No chance of parole. He faces forever. And not just in New York, but you've got LA. He's going to be going from courtroom to courtroom.
Like Harvey Weinstein. Before he ever gets sentenced or even starts his sentencing. And that's going to be, he is in hell, as he should be, in the same area as Sam Bankman-Fried. Yeah, and Mangione.
Mangione. That's what that play's about. How weird is that? And Weinstein when he's there, but he's not there because he's always on trial.
Yeah, he's always on trial somewhere.
Coming up, Trump speaks out about the image of, the priest. Oh, wait, the Cardinal Trump? We'll talk about that. Wait to hear what he has to say. Because he's saying something that I don't think the Catholics are all behind. Got to be honest with you. Talk about that straight ahead. Chad Benson Joe, Super Talk 99.7.
1:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got a crash over here in the Gulch, right shoulder block, 40 westbound at Broadway. Then still dealing with some road work with the off-ramp block, 65 northbound to eastbound 840 there in Spring Hill. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. The U.S. is offering illegal immigrants free airline tickets and $1,000 if they self-deport. Department of Homeland Security says that money will be paid after the government confirms they've left the country and say some illegals have already taken them up on the offer. Right now in Nashville, Channel 4's Steve Mailing says Mayor Freddie O'Connell says his office is working to get a list of names of all those detained by ICE during what the Highway Patrol says was a public safety operation over the weekend. Multiple traffic stops in Antioch and other parts of South Nashville.
Mayor O'Connell's office also said while allegations of Metro Police involvement were made, they say no Metro officers were a part of the enforcement and that their presence Sunday outside Homeland Security was to ensure public safety during the protest.
Well, there were about 150 traffic stops late Saturday into early Sunday in Antioch and South Nashville and areas. Troopers say there is a history of serious traffic crashes and suspected gang activity. The Trump administration set to begin collecting defaulted government student loan payments starting today. The Department of Education says 5 million borrowers are in default after not making payment of their government student loans for at least 90 days. The government can now take payment from borrowers' tax refunds, wages, or send the debt to collections. Author and MarketWatch assistant managing editor Jillian Berman says if you are in default, you should get a notification of how the government will proceed with your debt.
Defaulted student loan borrowers are supposed to get a warning, that their refunds or their Social Security checks are going to be taken.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
All right, guys. Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating and Cooling wants you to know that the TVA rebates have been extended. Okay, so mini split 17, C2 or higher, $800 rebate. Get up to 12 months, no payment, no interest. Depends on credit and lenders. Offers may vary. But Busy Bee has a rebate on AC tune-ups, $50 rebate for each one. So join the Beehive Club today. Get your spring tune-up and the $50 rebate. Then get your fall tune-up and the $50 rebate. Voila, you just paid for your Beehive membership. It's that simple. Couple rebates, boom, away you guys go. What are you waiting for? Busy Bee is the best. Busy Bee files the rebate for you so you don't have to, which is awesome because anytime something can do work for you, You got to like that. Here's some more of the other deals. 30% off ultraviolet home treatment, $300 off outdoor main sewer or water lines, $500 off electric heat pump, water heater, or the whole home water filtration system. Buy one yearly Beehive membership. Get one of equal or lesser value for free. Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, 775-7833, 775-7833, or visit busybeehvac.com. You guys are aware of this. Over the weekend, Donald Trump posted a picture of himself. I don't know if he had anything to do with it. I don't know. Unless somebody stole your, passwords and stuff and jumped on Truth and put it there, I think you had something to do with it. You may not have came up with it. But this was interesting. Today, somebody asked him about Pope Trump.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. President. Some Catholics were not so happy about the image of you looking like the Pope.
Oh, I see. You mean they can't take a joke? You don't mean the Catholics. You mean the fake news media. Not the Catholics loved it.
Loved it. Couldn't got any better.
Oh, my.
The Catholics loved it. I will tell you, a lot of you guys love Trump, but I've got several messages of people not thrilled by what Trump did. The fake news didn't like it. No, I think most of the Catholics weren't a fan of it, to be honest with you. And and I'm all for making fun of whoever. I got no problem with it. Would he have done this? Here's something for you. Are you ready for this, Ken?
I'm ready.
Is he going to dress up like Muhammad? Oh, I didn't think so. Oh. Yeah. Oh.
Iran loved it.
They called me. They want to make a deal. Yeah. Doesn't have the cojones for that one, do you? Let's see what else he had to say.
I had nothing to do with it. Somebody made up a picture of me dressed like the Pope, and they put it out on the internet. That's not me that did it. I have no idea where it came from. Maybe it was AI, but I know nothing about it. I just saw it.
What do do you mean maybe it was AI? What did you think it was? You didn't remember. You're like, oh, wait, there was that time I posed for the picture. Okay, we know you had nothing to do with it, but you posted it.
Last evening. Actually, my wife thought it was cute. She said, isn't that nice?
My question about
Actually, I would not be able to be married, though. That would be a lot. I'd have to the best of my knowledge, popes aren't big on getting married, are they? Not that we know of, no.
That's what he's worried about. Can I still get chicks? I can? Oh, okay. All right, cool. Fantastic. That's what he's worried about. And yes, look, knock yourself out. The beauty of our country is free speech is awesome. It's incredible. And have a laugh. And I've always said this. The more that you can, yes, even your religion can handle some ribbing, the stronger your belief in religion is. Where, it's kind of grown up. But... And, the people that support him and who love Trump, and I love Trump. I think Trump's great. I think a lot of stuff drives me crazy, but I want him to succeed like nobody's business because it's great for America. I didn't want Biden to fail either because I don't know who wants the other. I want the other guy to fail so my team rules. Yeah. No, that's not the way it should be. We're Americans. This is what you should remember. But you should be able to, he did it. He said he wanted, joking you around last week, he wanted to be Pope. But he was joking. He said, I'm joking. But you did put it out there. And yeah, there are some people upset. And then the media is going to run with it. Because that's what they do. Just like Alcatraz. They love that stuff. When you have a chance to offend, right? Earlier today, Anna Navarro.
Him tweeting out an AI-created image and the White House official account of him posing as the Pope is disrespectful. It is frankly disgusting, and it is outrageous. Many, many Catholics, people of faith who actually do believe in God and believe in the rituals of the church, not the people who wear crosses just for the sake of wearing crosses. People who actually believe in that are bereft over the death of Francis. This is one of the most solemn times in the Catholic Church when they are in the process of selecting a new pope. And so all of those devout Catholics that voted for Donald Trump because they thought for some reason he was a better representation of faith than other folks, I think you need to ask yourself some questions, and I think you need to ask the White House and Donald Trump some questions, because Trump, Mr. President, it's His Holiness, the Pope, not his oiliness, the dope.
Oh, you smoked him. Oh. Get over yourself, for God's sakes. And by the way, I know, right? Why are you on TV again?
Oh, goodness.
But get over. I mean, it's just hilarious that they throw them out there every day. Bunch of housefrows. And I look at that and I say to myself, okay, whatever. Knock yourself out. I don't care. Again, I don't care. Some of you, again, love it. You're Catholic. You think it's hilarious. I mean, we get in trouble all the time because we poke fun at the Catholics for poking fun at other things. So that's not nice. And no, Mr. President, you can't get married, but...
At least I don't think so.
I changed the rules.
Yes, I was going to say, he's the Pope. He can change the rules, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's again, get over it. But it's what he does. And the fact that they love it. Not everybody loves it. And some people are upset. Yes, and those are the older generation. They don't take a joke very well.
Pope Trumpus the first.
Pope Trump. You know he would not pick a name. All right, you can be any of these. Nope, Trump. Donald. Do we have Pope Donald? Was there a great Donald? Look at all the gold in my house. It was kind of in poor taste. Yeah.
Well, a lot of jokes are, but he was, I mean, there are bigger fish to fry when it comes to Trump than a stupid meme.
Totally. And, people say, well, what about Biden and his, abortion? I brought that up today, and his stance on this or stance. Again, everybody's going to pick and choose. This isn't about the Catholics. Some Catholics are upset. Even, Cardinal Dolan said it was embarrassing. He said, I don't think anything to do with it outside that he posted it.
And we've got people on the text line that are like, I'm Catholic and thought it was hilarious.
There you go. That's it. He's not going to be Pope. I think we recognize that because I don't think he's Catholic. Do I get to go to Narnia?
I'd be a pope the likes of which nobody's ever seen.
Do I get to meet Harry Potter? He's a wizard.
Man, he knows exactly what he is doing.
Yes. It's what he does.
He loves to yank the chain.
That's it. And he gets everybody talking. And that's what he wants. That's his whole goal in life.
And I think the same is for this Alcatraz idea, too, man. He just threw that.
I think he throws stuff out there, but it's like one of those things where it kind of ends on a question.
Yeah.
Like, if this is possible, can we rebuild Alcatraz? No. Not if you want to save money, sir. I thought that was the goal. You know what matters? The economy. That's it.
Sir.
That's it. Even this guy here, Slim Shady himself, Chris Christie.
When Donald Trump got elected, he got elected by independents and right-leaning Republicans who said they wanted to fix the economy. He's got a 38% approval rating on the economy, a 33% approval rating on inflation. The bottom line is this. If he doesn't turn around this tariff policy, if he doesn't fix what's going on in the economy and the instability that we have, everything else that he's doing, by the way, that I agree with some things, like on immigration, even on that stuff, no one will care. Because in the end, what matters in this country more than anything else is the economy. That's why he got elected.
That's it. The economy. We've been saying that. He could solve every issue on the planet. And if he doesn't win the economy, it doesn't matter. If the economy is rolling and Trump wants to dress up like the Pope, nobody's going to care. And he didn't. It was AI. I just like how I think it was AI. Might not have been. Maybe I did dress up like that once. I don't know. More from Chris.
Everything else that he's doing, by the way, that I agree with some things, like on immigration, even on that stuff, no one will care. Because in the end, what matters in this country more than anything else is the economy. That's why he got elected. When Kamala Harris said that she wouldn't do anything different than Joe Biden in an economy that they thought was too expensive and not enough opportunity for them, they kicked the Democrats out.
There you go. Keep it about the economy. Do what you do. Roll from there. There's nothing else. But it gets people talking. And that's what he likes, just like Alcatraz, which he's not going to do. It is funny, though, that he said that. Again, if he could do it like, I heard a Six Flags is getting ready to shut down. What's that like? We can make him just stay on the rides all day.
If Dollywood doesn't work out, call me.
It's so... And I love the fact that, like, Tom Homan's like, yeah, I think it's a good... Really? Do you really think it's a good idea? Honestly, Tom, give me your honest opinion behind closed doors, just between us. Do you really think an island off the coast of San Francisco that hasn't been used forever and is now part of the national, the national parks and is like a museum, do you really think this is the place for it? I mean, because we got lots of museums. Oh, my Lord. That's why he is who he is, though, kids. That's why he is who he is. Not everybody. I'm okay with Pope Donald. It's the economy, stupid. So, I think they're trading the beast for a Pope mobile. I have no idea what that's about.
That means they're taking his presidential limo and trading it in for the Pope mobile. That's what they call the presidential limo.
But now the new guy, from what I understand, he gets to pick his own Pope mobile. Because the old guy who just passed away, his Pope mobile is going to be tricked out, and I think they're going to do something with it for Gaza. So
I'd get one like Isaac Hayes' character's car in Escape from New York. Like real chandeliers for lights.
As tacky as you can go. Old school phone.
I thought he left all of his stuff to the new Pope.
No. They get to pick some of their own stuff. So, which is kind of interesting that, so they get to have their own Pope mobile, their choice of their Pope. Here goes.
One of Pope Francis' last gestures was to have his Pope mobile modified into a mobile health clinic for the people of Gaza. We know how much it touched him, the conflict there. He spoke nearly every day to the Holy Family parish inside Gaza. And so this is his final act to show the world how much he cared about the conflict.
Yeah, see, so that's what they're doing with the last Pope Mobile. And so now you're going to get you get to come in, and like you say, you could have a chandelier in there. That'd be sweet.
Room for 5 in the back.
That's it. Hot tub.
Couple choir boys.
It shoots out hot dogs out of the exhaust into the crowd. See?
That's not the Oscar winner.
Phenomenal.
Dude, come on.
That's a great. How cool would that be? And have it as the Pope Mobile, the protection, because that's what it's about. It's about protection, kids. We didn't used to have this up until Pope John Paul got shot, and we found out today he was a pope for quite a long time. So we've got, by the way, Bell has 10 days starting on the 7th. So all the way through the 17th, Bell thinks that's when they're going to pick a pope. You say 7th till the 14th.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go to the 12th. So we'll see who's going to be right when it comes. Watch him go out there. First one, knock it out the park. Took 20 minutes.
Just like that.
Took 20 minutes. You don't know?
I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I don't think it's going to happen either. Because there's so many of them, and they have to get to know each other. I mean, there's some that are obviously
they've been politicking for the last week, haven't they?
Yeah, but the thing is, for all the politicking, you still have to meet these people. And there's 135, and most of these people have never met. They're all over the globe.
Yeah, they're wearing name tags.
Yeah. So, and you know what else is, here's interesting. I wonder how great everybody's English is and stuff, because stuff gets lost in translation. And if they're going to be translators in certain situations, ooh, this should be, are they all speaking Latin?
Don't most popes speak multiple languages?
Yeah, but, just because you speak multiple languages.
But it's not a prerequisite, but don't they prefer that?
Yeah, well, they all speak Latin, because that's a super useful thing to have, by the way. But still, there's, when you're sitting down and you're politicking, maybe the way that you want to say something in your language is going to be easier, and you want to mess that up because you might offend somebody. Who knows? Again, it's all going to be interesting. We'll find out. Pope it ain't easy, baby. Coming up, more straight ahead. Chad Benson, Joseph, 99.7. Hey, I want you to call my buddies over at Bulwark Capital. Get a second opinion on what's going on in your portfolio, or better yet, check out Thursday, May 22nd, 3:30 Pacific, 5:30 here. It is a free webinar. It's a tariff edition free webinar, and you can sign up at knowyourriskradio.com. How the market is going to react to tariffs going forward, what could be the impact on your investments and retirement, long-term outlook for 2025, and they're going to give you a full-scale look on what it is that they do and how they go about their business. Doesn't cost you anything, but a little bit of time. It's that simple. So if you're worried how tariffs could derail your retirement, don't miss Zach's free live webinar. It's the Tariff Edition. Is happening Thursday, the 22nd, 3:30 Pacific. You will learn a lot from this. I promise you that. You can also get a risk review, a second opinion on what's going on in your portfolio. Call 866-779-RISK today, or go to knowyourriskradio.com, K-N-O-W, yourriskradio.com. Investment advisory solutions offered through Trek Financial LLC, and SEC registered investment advisor. Investments of all risk, not a guarantee. Past performance not guarantee future results. Trek 25206.
ICE operation in Nashville. Free plane tickets and $1,000 to self-deport, and a suspected human smuggling tragedy in Southern California unfolding. These stories and more at 2 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
True Social post from the president. He's saying that he wants to authorize the Department of Commerce and the U.S. Trade Representative to begin the process of instituting a 100% tariff on any and all movies.
It's unclear how this would be enforced, but it's really interesting on 2 levels. Number one, there's something known as runaway production in Hollywood. This started actually literally in Hollywood when filmmakers would go in other parts of California to make their movies. Now, runaway production is a global phenomenon. Filmmakers go to Canada, to Great Britain, to other countries to make their movies because there are tax incentives and there are other reasons why it's more cost effective.
And it's super expensive for the behind the scenes folks because it's a union town and union folk want union money and they get it and it drives the cost of production up. And like anything else, they talk a good game, but they're going to take all the free goodies you can get. And that's not just, about going to Budapest, which is a big deal for a lot of people, right? Bulgaria is another one. Vancouver has been a big deal. And there are several places throughout Spain and elsewhere where it's any town USA.
So I think Trump is responding to that phenomenon, which is very real and a big problem for U.S. entertainment companies. I think he's also reacting to China because in recent weeks, China has said that it's going to release fewer U.S. films in Chinese theaters. That was one way for China to retaliate against Trump's tariffs. So Trump here using the American movie industry, trying to say films should be made here in the U.S. and trying to punish filmmakers who are making films outside the U.S.
Now, here's the thing. This is a perfect example. This was a couple of weeks ago we played this. This is Rob Lowe on a podcast talking about the expense of doing his television show, The Floor.
That's interesting that you shoot The Floor there. It's cheaper to bring 100 American people to Ireland than to walk across the lot at Fox. Right. Past the sound stages and do it there. Crazy. Do you think if we shot Parks right now, we would be in Budapest? 100% we would be. We'd be in Budapest. We would be... It's so weird. There's nothing shoots in Los Angeles. Nothing. Just too expensive to shoot here.
There are no tax credits. So like all those other places are offering 40%.
Yeah.
40%.
Oh, yeah.
And then on top of that, there's other stuff that they do.
Yeah.
And then... and that's not even talking about the union stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's just tax economics of it all. So it's criminal what the California and LA have let happen. It's criminal. Everybody should be fired.
Yeah. Now here's something else. So maybe you guys can answer this. So if Disney or if, Fox or whoever makes a movie, but they decide to make it in Budapest and in Monaco and in Morocco, is that a foreign film?
Well, I got a better question. We have lost a huge chunk of the work that Hollywood does to like Vancouver.
Yeah.
Is that going to?
That's a foreign film. See, that's what I want to know. If it's an American company that makes it, but they're going to shoot it somewhere else, how can you consider that a foreign film? And movies are expensive, so if you don't hit it out the park, it ends up very ugly. So I don't know how they're going to work this out. And I don't know if it counts for television either. That's one of the other things they're talking about. So who knows? This will be interesting to see. Coming up, hour number 3 of the Chad Benson Show. A little Cinco de Mayo fun. Dave Portnoy speaks out about something that happened at his Barstool Bar. It is the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.
Two o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes. Channel 4's Joylyn Bukovac describes what the Tennessee Highway Patrol says was a public safety operation. in areas where there are serious traffic crashes and possible gang activity.
Many people were here at the Homeland Security office yesterday waiting to see their loved ones walk out or at least find where their loved ones were taken. More than 150 traffic stops happened late Saturday into early Sunday. Immigration rights groups say that many of these stops were followed by detainments. With ICE and Homeland Security agents seen taking people away, people sent us video that shows troopers pulling cars over in areas like Antioch and South Nashville. In some cases, you can see people being handcuffed and then led to unmarked vehicles.
Yeah, troopers say they confiscated illegal drugs and illegal guns. Mayor Freddie O'Connell says his office is working to get a list of names of the people detained. The Trump administration now says it will offer illegal immigrants $1,000 if they deport themselves. The Department of Homeland Security says people would get the money after returning to their home country. Border Czar Tom Homan telling reporters at the White House it's better than getting arrested.
You'll have some movement, right? Because I think people are finally getting the message. If you leave on your own, you can take advantage of legal programs, come back.
Yeah, so it's a free plane ticket out. And once you get to your home country and the U.S. confirms it, you get your $1,000. Officials in Southern California actively searching for missing people on a suspected human smuggling boat. Here's Alex Stone.
Panga-style boats are commonly used to smuggle humans and drugs into San Diego County from Mexico. They are long, skinny wood or metal boats. They've got a motor in the back. On Monday morning, one came ashore near Del Mar, north of the city of San Diego, and the Coast Guard says 3 people were found dead. 9 more are unaccounted for. There were 4 survivors who needed medical aid. It's been cold and somewhat stormy for the past couple of days. It's unclear if that played a role out on the water. Alex Stone, ABC News.
Starting today, federal student loan payments resume or after a 5-year hiatus impacting millions of borrowers. Here's Phil Lipoff.
There are options called deferment or forbearance that allow you to either reduce or suspend your payments. Check that your reported income is actually accurate, and if it has gone down, you may be eligible for payment reduction through a plan called income-driven repayment.
The chaos at Newark Liberty International Airport continues. Experts say it could be weeks until things get back to normal. Hundreds of flights have either been delayed or canceled after a major event last week led some air traffic controllers to take medical leave. This is on top of an existing controller shortage at Newark, and construction on one of its runways also meant that delays could last hours. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says he wants the federal government to look into what happened.
I have asked the Office of Inspector General to thoroughly investigate what's going on at Newark and in the East Coast so these problems don't get worse and spread all across the nation. The chaos at Newark could very well be a harbinger if issues like these aren't fixed.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
So Trump's going to pay you to leave. And then, if you want to come back, you can go apply. With your $1,000. So you get a ticket, and where's the ticket to? It's a surprise. Wear these handcuffs.
Straight to El Salvador.
And when you get on the other side, we're going to give you $1,000.
For your commissary at the prison.
No doubt. Oh, my. This will be interesting to see how this plays itself out. If you've come here and you've trekked through hell to get here, if you're still working, if you're still doing all of the things that you were and you need it, that $1,000 isn't going to move you. It isn't. It isn't. If, on the other hand, you don't really, you think maybe you have a chance of coming back. Because here's the thing. You're coming back. You just may not be coming back anytime soon. But you also might sit around and go, well, we'll wait. We'll see. We'll see what happens, right? We'll see if I don't get caught, if I don't get picked up, if something like that doesn't happen, what happens? Well, then, you know what? I'll be okay. We'll see what the next guy's like. Whoever he or she may be. So this is going to be interesting to see. I'm not sure how this plays itself out. I mean, the fact that we're paying you to leave is kind of interesting. But do I think that that's going to really move the needle? No, I don't think so. I've had more people say, I'll leave. You're going to pay me $1,000. Bell's already signed up. He wants to leave every day.
Yeah, if I get $1,000 every time I leave, I'm coming and going like clockwork.
Do you have a real ID?
No, I don't.
Oh, no.
Oh, I can't fly.
You can't fly, Bell.
Just move to El Paso, dude. You can just
that's
walk
a good
across the
point.
border
Yeah,
and
just
come
go
back.
back and forth. Ding, 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 ding.
That's a good idea, Ken.
Oh, see the way that works? But you think about it. So let's say you've come here, right? Maybe you've come here, you've been here 4 or 5 years. You haven't done anything wrong. You're not a gang member. You've got a kid and all that stuff. You think you have a chance of coming back. Maybe you go back there and try it. You say, I'm going to give it a year. You go back there. You make an effort and you see what happens. Maybe you talk to an attorney here. We'll see what might get. Yeah, maybe. But if you've come here, you've been here a few years, you're still sending tons of money home, you're working, that's not going to move the needle. Because you don't care if you get caught and they tell you can't come back for 5 years or a try. You don't care. You didn't come here legally anyways. You're like, oh, shucks, I'm going to wait. No, I don't think that's going to happen. Oh, man. Who would have thought? Over the weekend, this is rather interesting. So Dave Portnoy, if you guys know who he is, he founder, runs Barstool Sports, controversial at times, but something happened at one of his bars. So you get the Barstool bars. This one is in Philadelphia, and there was an issue.
All right, emergency press conference time. So I'm getting ready to go to the Bet Gala, and all of a sudden my phone, the last hour or two, my phone's f***ing blowing up. Our bar in Philadelphia, Barstool Sampson Street, usually a great f***ing bar. You know, bottle service, people buy drinks. You get a sign. There was a sign yesterday that said, F*** the Jews.
By the way, I thank you for telling me what happens at the bar. I did not know that. But so everybody gets a sign. You walk in, you get one of those like glow up signs, and somebody wrote blank the Jews.
I've been shaking. I've been so f***ing mad.
And when you see this video, he is red. I mean, he looks like he's freaking out.
For the last 2 hours. Like, I instantly got on. This is why the emergency press conference was late, because I was so over the top. It's like, I'm going to f***ing make it my life f***ing mission to ruin these people. Like, I'm coming to your throat. I'm never ending. And I just sat, and for the last 2 hours, I have been on the trail. Trust me, I've been on the trail. You think I'm going to put up with this shit at my bar? So I've been hunting down waitresses, the table who did it, and everything you can f***ing name. Because I want f***ing consequences for f***ing actions. So I'm not just sitting back like, oh, what are you going to know? Trust me, I have been on it.
He's on it. So he's coming.
Pardon my ignorance, but he's Jewish, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And not happy about this entire situation, which is understandable. Totally understandable.
Well, it's his establishment, correct?
It is his establishment. It's in a, Temple and everything. This is college town. This is where these kids went to Temple. And by the way, they were suspended today by the school. And I think Trump has a lot to do with that, by the way, out of fear, he's going to take our funding away. So we got to look strong on this. He continues.
I've talked to one of the two guys who did it. He's like, I'm not anti-Semitic. He's basically crying to me. And I'm just like, I don't buy it for a second. Who the would do that sign in my bar? You think I'm just going to sit here? I'm going to make it my mission to put you in lights. My mission.
Now, the first guy he went after wasn't even there. And he kind of apologized to that guy. He called, he found out who one of the guys was tagged, and he went after him, and he just started tearing him a new one, and the guy starts crying, and he's like, this guy's just turning over state's evidence. He's flipping. Then I find out he's never even been there. He's never gone to the bar. He's never done any of this stuff. This was not him. They just tagged him in it. So I kind of had to apologize to that guy. He went off half-cocked.
What's his name again?
Dave Portnoy.
Kid's crying. I just hung up on his ass. I go, I'm giving you 1 hour. 1 hour. 2 kids go to Temple. Tell me, how do I make this right before I go ape? You want to take anti-Semitism classes? You want to do whatever? You make it feel right. I don't need your tears.
So, it got a lot worse, too. He freaked out. Then, Dave Portnoy, who is, as we were talking about earlier, he's totally against the cancel culture world. Because he's talked to their families. He has talked to their friends. He has gone after everybody. His whole thing goes, I'm coming after all of you. But he's I don't want to be a cancel culture guy. Takes a deep breath and says,
all right, real quick update on the the Jews sign that was at my bar in Philadelphia yesterday. 2 hours ago, he literally could have cooked an egg on my head. That's how much steam and heat I had come out of my ears. And the more I thought about it, it's like these are young morons who did this. They're drunk. It's like, do you really want to ruin somebody's life? And let me be honest. I don't know what's going on in the world. I do, the Middle East, obviously. But I've been doing bar stuff for 20 years. I've had more hate, more anti-Semitism in the last year and a half than I've ever had doing it. And whether people, it's like Kanye, the UFC guy, it's like mainstream lunatics. And I'm not talking about politics or what's going on in the Middle East, just hating groups of people. You hate my parents, you hate my grandparents, like that. It's crazy.
Is he the same guy that does pizza shop reviews on Instagram?
Yep, that's him. So you guys probably know him from that. So he said, I don't want to destroy these guys. Right? These guys are young. They're stupid. They were drunk. They were trying to be probably funny, not understanding the magnitude of what they were doing. So he's decided, I'm going to come up with something else.
The two waitresses who worked at our place fired. One of them so dumb, Kelly, just the dumbest human I've ever talked to.
By the way, when he goes after people, it is just... You're the dumbest person I've ever met.
It's like listening to Trump.
It is. Times 10, because he does, he goes even crazier.
And I don't know if she thought she was making a political statement, but it was basically her alone, didn't go to a manager, kind of forced another girl to do it. She should have said no, but the other girl put up a fight. Those two girls are fired, but more importantly, the people who ordered these signs, they have agreed, I'm going to pay for it. We're going to send them to Germany, to Auschwitz, and learn a little bit about history, and hopefully, get educated and use this as a teaching moment, not just for them, but maybe for everybody. So that's where we're at. So for everyone who wants these kids' lives to be ruined, I think you can lay off, and I think this is a fair trade.
So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to send them to Auschwitz. So when they get to Germany, you better then send them to Poland, which is where Auschwitz is, because if they're looking around, they're going to be like, there's nothing here. What's going on? I thought we were going to Auschwitz. And I think it's a good trade. Now, they've already been suspended, and they're probably in a lot of trouble at Temple. Which I think, by the way, is ridiculous. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. They weren't on school ground. You wouldn't have known any of this had this not blown up. I think it's ridiculous, but this is the thing. This has a lot to do with Trump and the administration and the anti-Semitism stuff. This has a lot to do with that. These kids are idiots. Let's have a teaching moment here. He was on Fox earlier today.
But to me, this is the best option. In no way do I think this is some win for them, like they're going to Ibiza or something, going to be clubbing. No, they're going on a very strict, regiment, tailored visit to one of the worst atrocities of mankind. So, there is no great solution, but I put my head together with some other I consider smart people, and this is what we came up with.
I don't know if I'd have used the word solution in that, but, for those of you not keeping score, that was what they called it, the final solution. I think it's a good learning experience, but it's also a learning experience of, hey, people make mistakes. People do dumb things. People say stupid things. Let's take a step back and maybe find out if there's another way to have a teaching moment to bring more people into a situation where we're having a conversation about, hey, do you really even know what's happened? Have you taken in any of this stuff? No, you're a 21-year-old kid who's drunk, who thought it would be funny, right? And because being anti-Semitic or pro-Palestinian is very chic right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like all their friends are, free Palestine and from the river to the sea. And they're just, a lot of these people just go along to get along and have no real education on the subject at all.
No. They have none. They have none. Somebody said, are they really sending them to Auschwitz concentration camp for re-education? No, they are not. For education of re-education style. And so Auschwitz, if you guys don't know, it's one of those places where it is so somber when you get there. And it is such just the magnitude of what took place. So Auschwitz was the work camp. Birkenau was the camp you went to die in. And they're connected. So they decide you go to the left, you go to the right. One of them, you're going bye-bye. The other one, you were probably going to go bye-bye, but that was after they worked you to death. And it is it's something that just the thought of it, just the magnitude of it, I think is going to be good for these guys. I really do. But I don't think we should cancel them, and I don't think they should be suspended from Temple. But that's, alas, what you do nowadays, because Temple, and they're getting in front of it because Trump's got the new group out there. They're looking for anybody who's anti-Semitic. I get it. We don't want anti-Semitism. No, we don't. We don't want, anti-Christianity. We don't want anti-any kind of religion. You should be able to have your say, though. And if it's a joke. And the beauty of our country is we have free speech, and there's consequences. Those consequences, those guys got blown out of the water. They're embarrassed. And now they're going to go to a place where I will tell you, their life's going to change when they come back. It is something that, when you go to some of these places in Europe in particular, how it changes you, what it does to you, the magnitude of what these places are, whether you go and you're, D-Day, right? You go there and you're on the beach and you're like, oh my God, thinking about 16 and 17-year-olds storming this. Kids a year and a half older than my son running onto the beach here. Or you go to the Ardennes and some of these places, but then you go to places in the Eastern Europe and it's a different feel. One of them, the sheer magnitude of the amazement of what our soldiers did in the battle, and then the other one, the sheer horror of what took place and how humans could be that cruel. Coming up, a lot of stuff still to get to. It is Cinco de Mayo. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. I'm deciding whether or not I'm going to get you guys into this because I don't want to get you guys in trouble. But maybe we will. You don't know. It's the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. Oh, kids, Rough Greens, ruffgreens.com. Vitamins, minerals, probiotics, omega 369. How about a Jumpstart trial bag, a $20 value, absolutely free. Then I want you to take the 90-day test. 1 scoop a day, 90 days. Do not change anything. Watch what happens to your dog. Dog food is dead food. This is going to help bring your dog's food to life. First 30 days, shinier coat, more energy. By day 60, because of the live enzymes in the scoop you give every day in the supplement, shinier coat, absolutely fuller coat as well. More energy, immune system stronger, and more mobility in their joints. By day 90, heart health is improved, immunity, digestive tract, their skin, their fur, all of it is rocking and rolling, and their energy levels are through the roof. Try a Jumpstart trial bag of Rough Greens today for free. It's a $20 value. You cover the cost of shipping. Take the 90-day challenge. RUFFgreens.com/Chad. That's roughgreens.com/Chad. Use my code Chad, roughgreens.com/Chad.
Mayor Freddie O'Connell holding a news conference discussing the federal illegal immigration enforcement actions over the weekend. I'll let you hear some of what he says coming up at 2:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
So, got some more fun stuff for Ken. Every day I try to find crazy stories for Ken, crazy loonies for Ken, because it makes him laugh. This guy's famous. His name is Sean Penn.
But before Bukele gets to that point where he's dealing with another leader, we should consider worst-case scenarios. And I do think it's a reasonable theory that Donald Trump is not unlike the spouse of someone who leaves him perhaps for another, who then murders their former partner because if they can't have her, nobody can. And I think Donald Trump in his solipsism may have that relationship with the world, and that this destruction is in part a power play and also a literal intention of his final out.
You think he'll try to stay on?
I think he might try to destroy the world before he ages out of life.
Did you guys understand that? He is going to either destroy the world but he's never leaving, even though this weekend, he said, nah, he's not interested in a third term. Stop. You know what, by the way, he's probably going, dude, stop singing that. 2 of these is enough. Okay? That's it. But it doesn't matter because Sean Penn said, look, if Trump doesn't get what he wants, there's no doubt he's going to try to blow up the world. Well, he's not going to be here very long. I mean, look, I like Trump too, but we can all admit he's past the sell-by date. Right now we're on actuary time.
I don't know what we'd do without Hollywood.
I don't know either. I mean, I don't even know how we survive without Hollywood. I don't. I have no idea. I mean, it's so hard to figure out how you could do it. I love when they tell us what to do. And Trump's trying to fix that. You know, we were talking earlier about the whole thing with the foreign films, and Trump. Like, so if you're an American company and you're doing production in another place around the globe, and you're then bringing it back in the country, yeah, he's going to hit you with a tariff if you're making an iPhone or if you're making socks. So, yeah, I guess he would do this with films. But then you have to ask yourself, if it's cheaper to fly over to Ireland to make a TV show flying 100 people and putting them up for days, it shows you how expensive it is to do a movie here. And that's why AI is going to come in and make things. I showed Bell, I showed you the coolest, creepiest, weirdest thing the other day. Well, the AI stuff I showed you.
Oh, that wasn't even creepy. That was the part. That's what made it odd, was that it looked like an actual movie trailer with real human beings in it in a real forest.
Yep, and nobody was real. Nobody.
Nothing was real.
No.
None of the trees were real. None of the people were real. And it looked real.
So Hollywood's going to get their goal, which is not to have stuff leave. It's just going to be able to stay here. And other people are going to produce it. Ooh. That's crazy. It's crazy. Man, some of the stuff that's out there is incredible. It is some of the stuff that is being done right now is so insane. It is so insane. Like, he sent me some stuff last night. I'm just like, so my uncle and I, we have a company, and they do all the nerding stuff because I'm not a nerd. And I was talking to him, and he's like, dude, there's not going to be need for actors in the next 3 to 5 years. And I'm like, really? He goes, no. He goes, there's not going to be any need for actors. If you don't want them. If you want them, great. But, the cost. And the other thing is, too, just like with music, I am telling you, it's coming. These bands are selling their portfolios and everything. They're also selling their name, image, and likeness. So that includes new albums. So you're going to get another Queen album.
Another Beatles album.
Another Beatles album. And if they're in, what I was telling you.
Probably another Van Halen album.
Oh, absolutely. You and I were chatting about this the other day, Bell. It's like, how many songs are in the new, was it Metallica?
Yeah.
300 or some ridiculous thing?
Oh, yeah. They're reissuing the Load album, which originally had 14 songs on it, and the reissue has 305 songs on it.
And I'm like, were they done? And then he looked at me and I said, well, you don't really need to be done anymore. You could just go, hey, finish this off for me, and then let's see what it sounds like. Make it sound like us. And away it goes. That is what's coming. Folks, be prepared to be prepared. Coming up, some fun stuff. We're going to talk about Cinco de Mayo. Are you ready for it? Are you ready? I'm not going to make the guys do it because I thought about it. And I thought they could be in trouble. Then I thought, who cares? It's Chad Ben's show. Super Talk 99.7.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes. Right now in Nashville, Mayor Freddie O'Connell just held a news conference to discuss federal illegal immigration enforcement actions over the weekend, where the Highway Patrol, along with ICE, conducted about 150 traffic stops and, according to witnesses, took hundreds into custody.
What's clear today is that people who do not share our values of safety and community have the authority to cause deep community harm. We're still working to determine more about what happened over the weekend, but what we know right now, based on public statements, is that state and federal officials coordinated without us to engage in traffic enforcement actions clearly intended to target immigration concerns.
So O'Connell says they don't know the exact number of people detained. Metro Legal's asking the Highway Patrol to provide a list of names and charges, considering the same of ICE. And a fund apparently being set up to help what the mayor's office says is the immigrant and refugee community in Nashville in light of this operation over the weekend. And in our nation's capital,
President Trump Monday speaking about his administration's plan to offer money to undocumented immigrants to self-deport.
We're going to pay each one a certain amount of money, And we're going to get them a beautiful flight back to where they came from.
The Department of Homeland Security announced those who want to self-deport must use the CBP Home app, return to their home country, and then they'll receive a $1,000 stipend.
Maybe someday, with a little work, they can come back in if they're good people.
Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Trump administration set to begin collecting defaulted government student loan payments starting today. Author and Market Watch Assistant Managing Editor Jillian Berman says your credit score will reflect if you are behind on any student loan payments. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Retirement Ready Toolkit for my friends over at Beacon. Recent presidential election, got through it. Things are going okay, but some people are starting to get worried. Tariffs, things of that nature, global unrest. On top of that, now that you're in retirement or heading towards retirement, you're starting to worry about certain things like, what about taxes? What about health care? What about estate planning? Well, guess what? Our friends over at Beacon have you covered. I want you to do this. Call them today, 615-488-9303. You're going to get your free Retirement Ready Toolkit. No cost, no obligation, no pressure whatsoever. It's simple and easy. You make that phone call. They're local here. They're going to get you out the Retirement Ready Toolkit. You're going to get a Money Enough for Life book, retirement planning checklist, and a Maximizing Your Retirement Income white paper. So call them today. Talk to them about how they can help you across all of your retirement, not just the dollars and cents, which, of course, is something everybody thinks about. Call 615-488-9303, 615-488-9303, or find them online at AskBeaconNow.com. Birch Gold is awesome. Right now, I want you to text the word Benson to 989898 today for Birch Gold. In a time like this, where there's uncertainty in the market, uncertainty in the economy, uncertainty with global unrest, having gold as a backup to all the things you have going on in your financial world is a good thing. It's an asset that's amazing, and the opportunity of what may be happening with, as they're calling it, the Rio Reset, where you've got the BRICS folks getting ready to sit down and talk. That's Russia, Iran, India, China. you may want to figure out what you can do to protect yourself, and Birch Gold will help you with that. Is gold right for you? What about your savings? How you can roll it over into a metals-backed IRA. Text the word Benson now to 989898 today to find out how you can protect yourself, what you've worked so hard for, not just in the past and not just today, but also for the future. They'll help you out. They're my gold company. You should give them a text today. Find out. No pressure whatsoever with Birch. Text the word Benson now to 989898 today for Birch Gold. That was quite a press conference by Freddie. Oh, man. I always wonder when I hear some of these things, I'm like, what are you talking about? Were they here illegally? Yes, but that's not okay, well, that's it. Now, here's the thing. This is the only problem I have. If they say they're here illegally, they don't have the proof, whatever it is, they get that due process to prove that they're here. Where they are, I don't know. Because if I know him, Trump, he's already flown them to Louisiana, which is where they are taking people, because the judge down there is sympathetic and will, for the most part, side with Trump. And we've seen that in the past. So, but they got, I don't know how many people total overall. And if you can prove it, because the mistakes are going to happen. I just want everybody to know that. And you're going to have mistakes in immigration. It's rectifying those mistakes are as important as getting the bad people out of here. And we should make sure that happens. If there's somebody here who's applied for asylum and they've gotten asylum granted to them, then they should be allowed to stay. That's, that's it. But we'll see what it looks like, how it plays itself out. Now, do these people qualify for the $1,000 go away? Or do you have to do that on your own?
Well, it's to self-deport, right?
It is to self-deport. And they're not self-deporting because they were caught. So, and I'm sure Matt will have more about this coming up in the 3 o'clock hour. Speaking of that, today is Cinco de Mayo. Now, for those of you who don't know, Cinco de Mayo is not, I repeat, not Mexican Independence Day. In fact, Cinco de Mayo is, for the most part, it's like Arbor Day, Flag Day. It's nothing in Mexico, really. They don't celebrate it. We're the ones who celebrate. We love Cinco de Mayo. It's where you go out and everybody gets hammered. And it became a big deal here because of a lot of different things. But it's an interesting thing, the Cinco de Mayo, how it's become a big deal. It is the celebration of Zaragoza and the Mexicans defeating the French in Puebla. There were 9,000 plus French soldiers. They had not lost in forever, like 14 years in any battle whatsoever. There was 2,000 Mexicans, and they laid a whooping on them. Unfortunately for Zaragoza, a month later, he died from typhoid. But still, he led them to a victory. And to point, as one person put it, imagine if the Titans lost to a high school team. It's possible, so maybe that's not a good example. But you guys get where I'm going with it. It's not very nice, Chad. But it is not a big deal in their country. So in Mexico, this ain't a big deal. Here, guacamole, tacos. Unfortunately, it's a Monday night. As we all know, Ken hates Mondays, which sucks. But a lot of people are going to go out tonight and party. And one of the reasons it became a big deal here is because people like the fact that this was something that really, throughout the civil rights era, was a big deal for Mexican Americans in the battle for rights back in the day. So, whole thing is interesting. We're going to do some earlier, but I'm like, I'm already getting in trouble all the time. I don't need to get Bell in trouble. Not that it's not a fun thing.
Yeah, well, I would prefer you didn't get me in trouble, too.
I know. But that's what it is. Because I've had some people go, hey, it's Mexican. It's not Mexican Independence Day. That comes September. This is a battle. One battle that took place, and they celebrated. Mexico's got a lot of interesting stuff. They used to have an Austrian emperor rule their country. That's how they're like, oh, we need an emperor, but we need somebody who could be our pal. And The conservatives wanted him, so they got this guy Maximilian from Austria, who was like you're kind of royalty, but you're not, like, nobody's going to miss you. And the conservatives were excited because he had a decent relationship with the Catholics. But then he got over there, and he was far more liberal. And so then he just made everything a mess, and then they finally executed him after 3 years. Oh, my Lord. More Trump derangement syndrome. This one's specifically always for our good friend, Ken.
He's a con artist, Timothy. And I hope every day I wake up every day and pray that he died.
Oh, you don't mean that.
Absolutely.
That's an evil thought to say, though.
I say it.
Don't you want to win based on winning the argument instead of his death?
I want him to be gone out of our hair and our country. He is destroying the entire world.
He's destroying the entire world. Do you think, Chad, what else did she have to say? I'm just curious.
How did you feel when they missed him with the bullet?
I was pissed. Oh, my God, I was pissed. And some man lost his life over it.
Yeah.
Some man that nobody even talks about lost his life over it.
Well, we talked about, he was brought on stage, his jacket was brought on stage at the RNC.
Oh, and hey.
So we do talk about it as Republicans.
It wasn't a person that shot him. It was a gun that did the damage. So, Trump, and may he die tomorrow.
Oh, God, she's a winner. She's lovely. She is just a beautiful woman. That's the insanity that's out there. The unhinged lunacy of these people is spectacular. There's more.
I want a divorce. I don't want to live with MAGA people anymore. I don't think that this is a sustainable model for society. We are never, ever, ever going to see eye to eye about how society should operate. Period. I do not know what the solution to this is. But what I do know is that Donald Trump is destroying the structures that glued this country together faster, more violently, and better than I think anyone could have ever imagined.
Really? I'm just curious. What's the more violently that has happened? Out of curiosity, lady. Now that you want a divorce from MAGA. So who gets the U.S., just out of curiosity?
So I think the likelihood of the United States continuing as one country is rapidly diminishing right before our eyes. And maybe, in the end, this will do us a favor. Maybe it'll even do the world a favor. Because I think the reality is we can't live together. We just can't.
But you can, and you will, because you have no choice. And no, there's not going to be a civil war. I love when people talk about civil wars. Yes, Bill.
Just it's the stupidity of it that just she needs to be offended. She craves offense.
That's it. They wake up every day looking for something to be offended by. They're scared out of their mind because they put so much insanity in their mind that the world's coming to an end and that Trump is going to lead us. Like we heard Sean Penn say earlier. Well, if Trump doesn't get his way. Even if he does, it doesn't matter because he's probably going to kill us all before the end of it. At what point has he... I thought he wanted to get out of wars.
It's just all those nuclear bombs he's giving out for free to anybody who wants one.
Yeah, just like he's like Oprah. You get one, and you get one,
you get a nuke, and you get a nuke, and you get a nuke.
And she's just like, this is going to be good because we're going to all be divorced. You're divorced from reality.
You want to live that way? Go for it. If you want to live in a completely reversed reality where no one knows how to read and no one takes any medicine and you all just kill each other over and over again with unmedicated pandemics, that's fine. I don't care what you do at all. I just don't want to be around it anymore.
We're going to kill each other over and over
again. Yeah. That's how many times we're going to kill each other.
Does she realize how stupid that sounded?
She doesn't understand how stupid that is. But see, there's a perfect example. We're all going to be unmedicated because of all of these diseases. What are you talking about? COVID? A once-in-a-millennial thing that was bad, we recognize, and that, we may have had a little part in as well. And by the way, for those of you guys that know, the Spanish flu, for all accounts, started in Kansas. But it spread because of the Spanish Civil War and World War I and all the things that were going on over there. And Spain at that time was one of the few papers or few media that was open to talk about stuff. Now, do I think we started this? maybe we played a little bit. It wasn't our job to guard the building and make sure it didn't get out. But this thought that,
it was our job to finance it.
Yeah, well, shouldn't have been our job. Well, we didn't. We financed somebody else who wink, wink, nudge, nudge may or may not have financed it. But there's a perfect example of somebody who's unhinged, right? And somebody just said liberalism is the perfect. It's a childish world that they live in because it's all based on feelings. Walter Coggins, who's one of my favorite actors. You guys know Walter Coggins is a great actor. Love Walter Coggins. He's in he's in about everything.
He was in this last season of White Lotus.
Yes. He's also in, what was that?
Justified.
Justified. So he's a brilliant actor. And this is why liberals are so great at acting. Because he says you have to be a child. He goes, I'll teach you how to be an actor in 5 minutes, and I'll save you thousands of dollars if you're talking to his class. He goes, be a child. Because you tell a child about stuff, and then they can go off and play in their make-believe land because they're children. And it's not. This is the same thing with liberals. That's why they live in a world of this. Everything is perpetually something big and scary and a monster, which is it's not a good way to live your life. I couldn't imagine living my life that way. Some people, apparently they're okay with it. I look at that and I hear it and I think to myself, like Bell said, that person wakes up every morning looking to be offended. They flip on the TV and there's an offense there. They flip on the TV and there's anger there because the people that they want in power aren't in power and the other group is. And the other group, they're worried, Trump and them, are going to steal everything and going to sell it all off. Going to steal their souls, et cetera, et cetera. And so they come from a place of sheer terror to start their day. And they're looking every day to be offended, and they're watching and waiting for you or for somebody to do something that offends them. And then they go, ha, justification. We offend people here all the time. I just got an email from some guy who hates us. Hates me with a passion.
I'm sorry, I was in a mood. I didn't mean to send that, actually.
Hates me with a passion. I said, good luck. God bless you. Hope you find it. You guys were mean to the Catholics. I said, you say the same thing about Trump? I didn't dress up like the Pope. Neither did he, but I didn't post it. Chad. Can't believe you said that. Coming up, Matt Murphy will join the program. I like Matt.
Is he going to be dressed as a Pope?
I don't think so.
Have you seen him in the hallway yet?
I have not. I saw him walk by, but I don't think he had a hat on. But you never know.
He is wearing a shirt.
I'm wearing pants. He's wearing a shirt. Guys, it gets no better than this. Matt Murphy joins the program next. Chad Benz Show, Super Talk 99.7. Hello, my friends. If you guys can see me on the TV. Oh, Chad, racism. First of all,
is Ken Weaver back there?
I am Mexican, so settle down there, kids.
Is Ken Weaver? Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was born Rodriguez, I say.
I'm still. You were born where?
Rodriguez.
Okay. I'm still uncomfortable.
You should be. Somebody already mad at me earlier today, but at least I'm not dressed like the Pope.
Cultural appropriation or what?
No. No, this person was mad because I'm not serious.
What about Cinco de Mayo?
About anything.
Oh, well.
You know what? We got enough serious on the station. Matt and I give you levity.
I do a little bit. I'm either laughing or yelling about something.
Yeah, see,
that's what I try to do.
We try to have fun.
I like how you're trying to pull. You almost try to push it again in like that. For those watching on TV, it's kind of like a cowboy hat. Go toward your face.
Oh, like this?
Oh, no, that's good. That's
Man,
good.
I'll tell you what.
You kind of look like Festus. Doesn't he kind of look like Festus?
A little bit.
Yeah, Matthew, let me tell you something. Gosh darn it, Matthew.
Who was the guy that owned the Angels?
Oh, Eugene Autry.
Yeah, Gene Autry. He looks a little bit like the sidekick Gene Autry had.
Okay, sure. That's a dated reference lost on me.
Yeah, Gene Autry. You guys know who Gene Autry is.
Oh, yeah, I know who Gene Autry is.
Mostly famous for Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Mm-hmm, sure.
So, and he owned the Angels. And then he married his larger, not pretty secretary who basically took everything from him after he died.
And that is the end of that story.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a great story.
Well, that went south real quick.
It was a great
you know
story.
What? I'm being honest,
He skipped his entire professional career and went to fat secretary.
You know what? Nutritional overachiever. If you want to call her fat, that's a you thing.
It's Cinco de Drinko.
That's right. Hey, nothing, like you said, we love to take somebody else's holiday
and turn it into a drinking game.
That's
what we do. St. Patrick's Day, let's drink. Cinco de Mayo, let's drink. Halloween, screw the kids, let's drink.
New Year's,
drink. 4th of July, independent, drink.
Memorial Day.
Drink.
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day.
Yeah.
One of our most sacred days where we celebrate those that sacrificed all so we could have freedom. Let's drink. Let's get on a boat.
Oh,
let's drink.
Let's not only drink, let's buy a mattress. Right? Because that's the other thing we do.
Buy some sheets.
You know what?
President's Day, drink.
I'll say this because nobody else will, but I have the cojones to do it. When do we get the 9/11 sales coming one day? Somebody's going to try to do that.
I think 9/11.
Did they ever do Pearl Harbor sales?
I don't think they. I don't think they.
Somebody's going to try to do something stupid.
I think you might want to go for Pearl Harbor first and see what happens.
VE Day, all. I mean, we celebrate. So it sounds horrible, but when you think about our independence, people died for our independence.
I mean, there's a reason to celebrate, though.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a reason to celebrate on 9/11.
Yeah, but we may push, but somebody's stupid enough to try something like that.
Look, I'm Brent. Right now, I'm Brent Musburger, and Chad's Jimmy the Greek, and I'm just slowly sliding out of frame.
I'll set
just gonna slowly slide.
I thought you know what?
Just gonna slowly
You're
slide.
perfect. Nobody can see you now.
Would you rather be Jimmy the Greek? For those of you guys know, speak about a dated reference.
Dated reference right there.
Remember when Brent Musburger was it
the hip twitch or something like that?
With what did he say? Was it Lawrence Taylor? That whole thing where he's up in Lawrence Taylor's room and Lawrence has got like a dress and a wig on or something.
Yikes.
He needed a fax machine.
The thing I remember most about Brent Musburger is Kevin Nealon's impersonation of Brent Musburger on Saturday Night Live, where he would do the impersonation and hold his eyes like this as he did the impersonation.
Now I'm going to move away from you.
On Sirius.
Now he does gambling stuff. That's all he does.
Brent Musburger, a big gambler.
Yeah, he's huge.
Big bet. And there have been people on social media, which is one of the few reasons that social media is worth a damn, that have gone back and they established games that Brent Musburger had bet on that he was calling, and you can hear it. I mean, you would not notice it. It was subtle enough where you wouldn't notice it if you didn't know it. But knowing it, like this is a game that Brent Musburger had, $9,000 on, you can hear it in his voice.
Like he wants a win.
And he's not getting one, and he's not very happy.
Oh, my goodness. Well, it's
what it is.
You're doing that.
You're not on the field. You're not playing the games.
No, you're not stealing. You didn't buy anybody out to miss a three. No.
The refs did that.
Somebody said I had drinks with Brent Musburger and his wife on Bourbon Street in 1988.
I bet that was fun.
Yeah, he was an odd bird.
I bet the pee smell was ripe.
Was he the guy that wore women's underwear?
No, that was
Lawrence Taylor.
No. It was Marv Albert.
Marv Albert.
Yes,
Marv Albert.
Yeah, that was Marv Albert. That was my bad.
And he liked he
not
wore
Brent.
women's underwear and liked toes.
And bit, right? Didn't he bite somebody?
He liked toes. I don't know if he bit them, but I know the report
The whole
was
thing was bizarre.
He liked feet.
Meet Marv Albert.
As did who was the little munchkin that Dick Morris. Dick Morris likes feet.
Or the football coach. His dad was coach for the Eagles. He and his brother Rob and whatever. He coached the Jets. He loved toes and he got in trouble for it.
Ryan?
Yeah,
Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan. And he got in trouble for it. And remember, they made fun of him on a television for it?
You know who else? Oh, who was it? The talk show host, Matt Murphy.
Matt Murphy
likes
loves
feet.
a good feet.
He likes some feet.
That's right, kids. So what are you talking about?
Feet. We will discuss the activities over the weekend, the lawful activities happening over the weekend with the Tennessee Highway Patrol, and the reaction that Mayor Freddie O'Connell has. Freddie O'Connell very upset that the law was followed, so we'll do that.
Hasta la vista. Till mañana.
Hola, amigo.